We are live. Wait for everyone to hop over. What's going on, everybody? Oh, there it popped up. Hey, welcome. I know. Where's Waldo? Welcome, everybody. Yes, thank you, Annie. Please remember to change it from top chat to live chat.
And like the stream, please.
Yes, like the stream. The stream is separate from the premiere. So it posts in two different areas, and the stream is what goes up on the podcast sites, the Spotify's, the Apple. You know what? I'll just pull it up while we do our intro. All right. So welcome, everybody. This is the True Crime Talk Show, where we talk about all crime that's true and culture that could be criminal.
Could be.
Definitely criminal. So welcome, everybody. We are super happy you're here. For our audio listeners, we just got done watching this here, which is the expert FBI cast report details along the topic of Bryan Kohbergers' GPS in the Idaho 4 case. So we put out the cell phone triangulation video, and we got a ton of responses, and most of the hate comments, which I expected from it. People, for whatever reason, don't like when other people question police. So I expected it, but when we put that out there, a ton of people snapped back that clearly everyone who asked this question just didn't have a certain level of knowledge and experience when it comes to the cellular data as they thought they did. But everyone was like, look, that the cell phone data doesn't even matter. The GPS, the triangulation, that doesn't even matter. What matters is the GPS location. And that's not necessarily true. And those are two different things. So your GPS location or your geolocation is separate from your cell phone triangulation, or what they're confusing it with is, which I said wrong in the video, is trilateration. Now, trilateration is a way to take cell phone triangulation, gauge or guesstimate your distance from three separate towers, and then they turn that into geolocated coordinates. So coordinates on an actual map that you can find, track, and use for reporting. Now, so we knew that we had to do a GPS topic after that, because if people aren't sure exactly why cell phone triangulation is important, then they probably don't understand why GPS location services are important, or what exactly they do, or why you need both of them if you can get it, because they're two separate things, and your cell phone company doesn't have GPS and the other app data or GPS does not have your cell phone service. No cell phone companies own satellites. So satellites are ran through GPS. All the satellites in the air are literally called GPS, the Global Positioning System for the US and America, right? Or the North America, I guess, because I think Canada uses our GPS satellites too, but I could be wrong. So we dug into it, and while we were digging into it, I was able to find a declassified document that was declassified in 2021, I think is what it was. So a couple years ago, that gives the exact details of the CAST report. And the CAST report is actually a group of people that is employed by the FBI that have special training into cell phone technology and data. And it's essentially what, who's the guy that lives in Russia now? I'm having an ADHD moment.
Edward Snowden.
Yes, Edward Snowden. So CAST is what Edward Snowden talked about. One of his main topics was how the FBI used CAST, used geolocation and GPS to track people against the law, right? For whatever their needs were without warrants and things like that. This was one of Edward Snowden's big topics. So I assume this CAST report got declassified partially because of that. So I figured we could go through that tonight too, but sorry, long intro rant as always, you guys, but welcome everybody.
Yes, welcome.
You're going to say,
yep.
Okay.
Hey, Regina, new member alert.
Yeah.
And Dara, you're new too.
The new member popped up yesterday. Actually, I think you must have, well, that's weird because it popped up yesterday. But anyways, we're super happy that you are a member. Thank you. And welcome to the Thought Riot team.
Yep. Member Michael.
Yes.
Lori. Hello, Anne. I hope that your hospital trip this morning went well, Anne. Hey, Casey.
I hope that it was non-invasive because some of them can be rough.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep.
Hello,
yep,
don't be hating. Hi, Amanda. Good to see you. Hey, Sarge. Mike. Bonbon. I have very tall people in my family too. I'm only 5'6", but a lot of people in my hello, the Heathen Coalition.
And good Lori, CH.
Yeah, if you got that Viking blood, you probably are really tall. Gotti. Hello.
Yes, welcome everybody. So, Ian.
Oh no, Amanda. Too bad. That's weird. Hey, Ian. Hey, J-Ray. 5'6" probably is tall to some people. It probably is.
What, 5'6"?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It probably is to a lot of people. I think it's pretty average, though.
Yeah.
Pretty average.
For wait, a man or a woman?
A woman.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Obviously.
Yeah.
5'5", 5'6", I feel like is about average.
As everyone
for
comes
America,
in.
For America.
As everyone comes in, if you would hit that like button, please. I meant to pull this up here. So as you guys know, the True Crime Talk Show goes on all the podcast platforms. We are on Apple. We are on Amazon. We are on Spotify, of course. And we love that everyone's here talking with us. And we love all our audio viewers that listen to it on the replay, and give your input, leave some comments. We want to know what you're thinking. We want to know how you're feeling about it. If you want to suggest topics, we have done multiple topics that have been suggested very recently, even with Danny Rolling, multiple Idaho 4 topics where we did the research and kind of dug in because people were curious about it. Actually, the cell phone one and GPS one started because a viewer suggested it. So, yeah, if you want to suggest something or talk to us or join, we're on Patreon, YouTube, and all the podcast platforms. So come hang out with us and welcome.
You can gift memberships at the bottom, like where you type in the chat. There should be a little money button. Lori asked, so isn't the car itself supposed to have some kind of black box that they could trace instead? Not really, Lori, from what Brendan's talked about this a few times before. Not really. It sounds like it only turns on when there's like a really fast acceleration, or is it deceleration, or both?
Yep. So it is both, and that's specific to the type of car that Bryan Kohberger has. That's weird. I don't understand why that.
Lori.
Oh, there. Yay!
New
Welcome,
member.
Lori, new
Thank
member.
you so much. Glad you're here.
Yes.
And Caroline Ciano, both of you.
Yes. Welcome. Super stoked to have you guys. Super glad you're part of the team. Welcome to the Thought Riot crew. And yeah, it's a good time. And one thing, I guess one thing we can say too.
Oh, Michael gifted 5
Oh,
memberships.
man.
Awesome, Michael.
That is awesome.
It's
wow.
much appreciated.
It is very much appreciated. And hopefully you guys enjoy those memberships and continue hanging out with us and share your opinions. One thing I was going to say, though, is as we get bigger, you know, there's going to be different people coming in, more people coming in, things like that. And oh man, and Ian, they just don't want me to rant. They don't want me to get through what I'm trying to say. That's what's going on here. We appreciate it, Ian.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Prisoner of the chat. So Ian, when Ian says something funny or you don't agree with it, you just spam the prisoner emote. It was made specifically for Ian. He is the prisoner of the chat, and it's a long story. Well, it would be a long story coming from me, at least.
Gifting membership should be right where you type in a chat, Bon. There's a little money button that when you click it, it should pop up to say like gift membership.
Oh, it shows who got gifted here. So Annie was gifted a membership by Ian. LB was gifted. Cynthia, Badfish Bear, Liz, and yeah, awesome. That is super awesome. Why did only? Oh, there. So Gati, Sarge, L, Venera, and I hear circus music. Awesome. Welcome, you guys. Welcome, you guys.
Amanda, you have to make sure that your settings are turned on to be able to accept memberships.
Yes.
Yeah.
There should be something that pops up that says accept memberships.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you got the emotes now.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. I wasn't able to finish what I was saying. So the GPS in the car, it's specific to Bryan Kohberger's car. So because he has a later model car, there's this box in it that's like a black box. The best way to compare it is to a black box in an airplane. The only difference is that in an airplane, it runs 100% of the time as long as the airplane's in order. In cars of that year, make, and time frame, they have this black box in it that records things like the speed that you're going, how long you applied the brakes, if the airbags went off. It doesn't record you, it doesn't track your location, but if it feels a jerk, like something out of the ordinary, like a really hard turn, a really hard stop, an impact, something like that, it turns on and starts reading all the data in the car. Now, there are other cars out there that absolutely, I mean, you have OnStar. I think there's another one called like Geo something. I think it might be GeoStar actually. And that gives exact GPS signal. And why that GPS is different from cell phone companies is in our phones here, you guys, right? There is a GPS chip in here separate from your phone's operating system. It functions, it runs, it manages everything separately from your phone's operating system. So it is actually owned or sold to you by the manufacturer of your phone. It is not by your cell phone company. So like the manufacturer's Apple, the cell phone company, AT&T, and AT&T doesn't have access to your GPS location. It is yours, and you only give access to GPS location by using applications that pop up and ask if you're willing to give that GPS location to those applications.
So hello, Marie, and hello, Shams.
Yes, welcome.
Good to see you. And Marie asked, I missed it. Does the GPS put him as the Elantra driver? It does not. There's no evidence so far that has been released to the public that can put him specifically in the car at the times that they claim he was in it that we've seen. Now, basically, the cell phone video that we did before, cell phone data, and the one that we just premiered and a lot of people that are in the chat watched, it talks about GPS and satellites and how they get that information from your phone, and basically how it's not as reliable as we thought it was.
Yes, hang on one second here. I'm trying to get the right screen share up for... Bam. There we go.
So Lori asked the question too.
What? Did he ping off of only one tower? That is what we don't know. So, without being an AT&T employee, I'm not privy to that information. That is carrier specific information. I can, as an employee of any carrier, see if somebody is connected to the tower because those all go through the same tower. A tower is usually used by all the carriers. It just depends on what placement of those white bars you see, those big white bars. Actually, there's probably a picture in this. But normally the ones at the top are going to be the owner of that tower because they have the best coverage. The ones underneath that are, whoever charges the second most or pays the second most. And then the one underneath that is the other one, because really we only have 3 main carriers, and then other carriers like US Cellular subcontract their services through other carriers. But we don't know. We aren't sure. I do know for 100% certainty that you cannot be triangulated in Moscow. Almost anybody could be, almost nobody could be triangulated in Moscow because of the placement of their towers. There are only a few spots in Moscow, like in the southernmost part and right on the line of Washington into Idaho, where you could actually thoroughly be triangulated. Now, this that I have up on the screen here is the declassified cast report. So we'll be able to go through this, and a lot of people out there, especially when I posted the cell phone triangulation video to Reddit, so many people were like, we're waiting on the cast report, waiting on the cast report. And it was talked about and presented in a way that they thought cast was a type of report, but cast is actually a group of people. It just means that you are employed by the FBI and you have a training and or skill set that makes you an expert in wireless data technology and graphing, essentially.
So Bonbon said red flag. Brennan put up the membership link.
Oh, yeah.
Also, J Ray, I hear you. I will holler at you if anyone's talking to you. Or we need your brain for anything.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. I am literally the worst at posting links and memberships and all that stuff. So I appreciate that reminder so much. And what I'm also going to do here, because this is the one social media page that is not at Thought Riot Podcast, because Twitter does not allow at Thought Riot Podcast. It's too long. So Twitter's is at Thought Riot Pod because a bunch of people have asked, if we're on there, and we are. It's just at Thought Riot Pod. So, yes.
Yeah, no worries, Ian.
iPhones are different when it comes to memberships. Yeah, maybe I should hop on mine and see if I can give some away. Hang on. Let me see here.
So, Dara said, what about Apple's new crash update? Do you know anything about that?
Which crash update are you talking about? Are you talking about their new software that you can't be tracked because they have the rolling IP? Is that what you're talking about?
And Lori said, so it's impossible he was pinned right to 1122 King. Yeah. Essentially,
Yes.
It's impossible.
Yes, it is absolutely impossible to be pinned with certainty at 112 King.
Gina, something tells me you're trolling. You don't really want that implant.
I would get it, legit. I would
just be scared of somebody hacking my brain. I don't want my brain hacked.
Yeah, weird. Why is this not?
It sounds really cool, in theory. I just don't want my brain hacked,
Why does this not let membership? That's so strange.
What's wrong?
It wasn't letting me do a membership. It was really, really strange. I just didn't understand.
Why are you hitting join? Don't you need to gift in the chat?
No, and it's just not working. I don't know.
Here, I got it right here. How many do you want me to do?
5, I guess. Yeah. Strange.
Let's see. It's loading. It's loading.
Is it gonna go?
To be 5 lucky members.
Yes, 5 lucky members.
Security code.
Okay. So while we get that going, what was my other thing that I was ranting about that I started to talk about? If I missed your question, you guys, I apologize. Post it again. I want to answer everybody's questions when it comes to this because there's this idea out there that everybody should have this specific type of knowledge, and that is just completely absurd and completely uncalled for. In my opinion, nobody should have this knowledge. Literally nobody should have this knowledge unless they have an expertise in this, unless there's an expertise in this topic. Does it show who got him?
SW Firefly, Gina, Marie, Karma Police, and Melon. Dang it, Amanda didn't get it.
Gosh.
I wish I could specifically give them away to certain people. It doesn't let you.
Yeah.
On Twitch, can't you pick specific people?
I think so. So, cast origins. That's okay. We'll do some more again.
Yeah.
No, it tells if it. Oh, you're talking about the geolocation. There's a specific name for it, but yes, iPhone and Apple Watch specifically can tell if you're having a heart attack for the newer versions. They can tell if you've been in a crash. They can tell if you've had a gnarly fall. If that's why they are the best for somebody that's having health issues or whatever. And if you have a really hard fall and it feels the impact is enough for a head injury, a broken bone, something of that nature, it can literally call 911. So
everybody's trying to get Amanda a membership. You guys are too nice.
Yeah,
Thank you, though.
you are. That's super nice.
I know Amanda feels really.
Oh, man. Michael going big.
Yeah, Michael's balling. Thank you so much, Michael.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's picking him randomly. We're going to end up going till everyone in the chat is a member. Because Amanda still didn't get it.
No.
What the heck?
Just do 5 more.
Lissy Holmes.
Maybe, do you have it turned on?
So Lissy Holmes, Marie Z. Winkler, Unravel, wait, here we go. Sunflower Bath, Miss Ma'am, Drew Younger, Joseph Rapp, Seachel. Oh, it's Seashell. It's the Seashell.
Yeah, hey.
DC, American Princess, Rena.
Amanda,
welcome, you guys.
hit the box that's at the top. You see that green box where it says 10 and 5? Hit that. And then at the bottom, it says allow gifts. Look. Just hit that and allow gifts.
Hey, Katie. She said it's turned on. She checked.
What?
I'm dying.
Yes. Well, we appreciate that. That's super
nice.
She said,
I have it on and I'm hitting all the boxes.
Strange. I don't know.
She did it like 3 times over, huh? It's a gifting party.
Right? It is. That's hilarious. So funny.
Welcome to all the new members, though.
Yes, welcome everybody.
We're
super stoked you're all here.
We gotta post something good this weekend in the members.
Yeah.
Or maybe we should do a members live stream soon.
Yes.
Michael just gifted 10 more.
Yes. Who was it?
You know how much we appreciate you, Michael. That's so awesome. And Caroline, oh my gosh, it really is a gifting party. Should we get out a pinata?
Yes.
A pinata or something? Should I run to the store?
Dude. Oh my gosh, Amanda.
Oh my gosh, there's so many people getting memberships. All right, we got LA. You got one. You said you felt left out. Yay, you got it.
Yes, that's awesome.
Blonde Thrifter, Christina June, Denise Datillo, Crimson Tide, Carrie Lee, Mary Worthington Gray, Rosie, Tam Ara, Crazy for Books, Margarita Riki, Antisocial, Rosie Oak.
Here.
Logic. Yay! Welcome, you guys. Amanda's still not a member. Michael said, Amanda, you're more expensive than my ex right now.
You better get one.
Amanda said, Michael, stop.
Oh, I don't know what mine is.
That's mine.
Oh.
No, why did you just X out of it? You didn't have to do that.
What?
Go to press on this.
I'll do it later. Dude, Amanda better get one.
Amanda said she's going to cry. Michael said he's invested now. We have Stephanie Kimball, Lisa Wilson, Maggie Baby, Tracy Fuller, Michelle
man.
Damaris. The chat is moving so fast. Michael Farrow, Just Don, Trixie, Knox Girl. No,
I know. I don't understand it.
No, welcome to all of you. Maybe something's going on with Amanda's account.
Yeah, let me
Wait.
What?
Let me see something real quick.
What, to see if you can click on the name?
Like if I go to the channel itself, can you do anything from their channel?
I don't know.
You're amazing, Michael.
Yeah, you are, Michael. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Hey, Liz.
Yeah, hey Liz.
Yeah, just triple check and go to join, then gift settings, then allow gifts.
It also pops up in the chat though while people are gifting. It reminds you in the chat to allow gifts.
Yeah,
so
it does.
I don't think she could have missed it.
Yeah. It's just, I'm shocked.
Built to Spill said, I promise you some official channels can't.
That's strange.
That
Super
is strange. Because Amanda was a member before. It wasn't gifted to her though. She paid for it herself. So
strange. Okay.
Amanda, just put your Cash App out there.
Yeah.
Michael can send you like $5 or I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into here, but thank you all so much. That was amazing.
So much fun.
It was a lot of fun, and it shows the commitment, I think, of the Thought Riot community. And it's awesome. Like, this is one of the things that we were looking for, is people being so supportive of, send it to us in an email.
Yeah. I like all of you, Gina.
Yeah.
All of you.
Everybody.
I don't know what, we don't have any sponsors yet, Gina.
No, not yet.
Oh, go eat some sugar, Anne, or something. I hate low blood sugar. That happens to me.
So I would totally make people moderators. But one thing that we're going to do, and we want to do it right, is we're going to pay our moderators. And I understand that there are content creators out there that don't do that. But we want to pay our moderators a percentage, even if it's like 1% of the overall YouTube income, then that promotes moderators to market the podcast, the show, right? So I know we don't need to do that, but I feel like it could end up benefiting in the long run. You know what I mean? So that's our goal. But we'll get back to the cast report here. And thank you all again. We appreciate that a ton.
Yeah, I got you, Amanda. But I mean, if you ever are interested, like, we'll have other moderators too. And if anyone's interested in being a moderator, for sure reach out in the email.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could do it, come and go kind of thing.
Absolutely.
As long as somebody's covering, I guess.
YouTube just needs to make it where you can gift someone specific a membership. I feel like that needs to happen.
Yeah, for sure. It does need to happen.
Okay, so Cast origin. So Cast brings unique expertise to cases in which cellular telephone information serves an important evidentiary role in the investigation. When necessary, Cast will utilize industry standard survey gear, drive test equipment to determine the true geographical coverage breadth of a cell site sector. Project Pinpoint uses the following data sets, and this is important, okay? Historical cell tower site historical cell tower lists. So cell tower lists, FBI informants and liaison contacts, fugitive warrant data and Megan's Law sex offender registry, other divisional crime data such as shootings, robberies, etc., other data deemed appropriate such as visas, cameras, case information, and etc., which are overlaid and analyzed using mapping software to support fugitive apprehension, informant development, and enhancement of investigations for all investigative programs. But here's an interesting thing, okay? So this is the cast location. I don't think this has anything to do with it because any of these people could be anywhere. So you could have a crime in California and these survey teams could be working on it in the New York area. This is the required training for the CAST certification. It's an 18 to 24 month training, basic historical cell site analysis course, geolocation. And for those of you that we didn't go into geolocation a whole lot, but geolocation is all data connections, you guys. So it is, I don't know if I can tell how many non-chat members are in the chat. It doesn't pull up like that.
No, I don't think it tells us that.
So, basic historical cell site analysis course and geolocation. So, geolocation is data information from all sources. So you're talking GPS, you're talking mini cell sites, which we looked at on the cell phone tower. We're talking depending on what geolocation app you're using, it can even use other people's phones, Wi-Fi connections, Bluetooth connections, anything that has data going through it. Like Google Maps Pro, you guys, is it uses everything. It uses other people's phones, it uses other cell sites and routers, it uses literally everything. So
oh my gosh. Look, hold on. But wait, what if it doesn't work because something's wrong?
Yeah, what if it doesn't work because something's wrong?
Michael, wait. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. That's super cool, Bon.
Oh, yeah. That is interesting. Yeah, information can bounce off everybody with certain apps. So like if you have a Google Maps Pro, right? Everyone needs a little med time.
She said she has an Android, Bon. I don't know what's going on. Really odd.
Yeah, it is super strange. Really, really strange. Because I think it has to be something not working. Like something is off maybe. I don't know. That it just makes me nervous putting all those out there and it not work for some reason.
Yeah.
So iPhones are actually really good for people who like privacy. iPhone, and this is another topic that people argued with me on during the first video we put out around the triangulation, is people responded saying, no, Apple absolutely gives into warrants. But I would suggest that you guys go look at it because a lot of times they don't give into warrants. And the feds have taken Apple to court. They have sued Apple to get that personal information, and Apple won't do it. Now, have they? Okay. I think that's where a lot of people get confused, is has Apple given into reports and warrants? Yes, Apple has given into that, but they've given into it, and all Apple data is encrypted with rolling encryption, which means it changes. And without a key, you're very unlikely that you're going to get that data decrypted. But with the FBI and all the top scientists and decryption and analysts and everything that they have, I'm sure that they could decrypt it, right? But if you like privacy, Apple's the one, man. They just came up with this IP address that that it rolls. So like when you're connecting, yeah, you can private your data, like your location, because your data is private in your phone. It's not just going to go out there to other people. What you have to worry about is that it right. I wish I was sponsored by Apple. That would be amazing. But because I have Apple everything, you guys, not and I like every other. I like all technology. So it's not like I'm a dedicated Apple person, but I do have Apple just for the security with work and everything. And Apple kind of owns the corporate America phone company plans that they provide for their employees and things like that, because they offer such great operating systems and services for those devices to be managed. But Apple is definitely like the privacy phone, in my opinion. If you're looking for privacy, that would be it.
I hope Tesla phones are happening. That would be super cool. LA.
Yes, I need Apple and Celsius. You're right. Okay, so there's a couple things that I want to show you guys here, right? So we're looking at specifically AT&T. So language for historical CDR and cell site and additional reports. So when they reach out to AT&T, they reach out requesting call detail records, all subscriber information, including name, address, contact numbers, activation, deactivation dates, account number, social security number, and account features. By account features, they aren't talking about the actual features in their phone. They're talking about like if you have app blocking services turned on through your cell provider, or if you have insurance on your phone through your cell provider, right? So cell site locations and sectors for all outgoing and incoming SMS, MMS, and data transactions, all available historical precision location reports, which this is so unreliable, you guys. Just because they are asking for it doesn't mean that it's reliable. All available internet and web browsing history. So just to be clear, AT&T doesn't have that data. Nobody has that data. That's not something that goes through your cell phone company, is your browsing history. That's not a thing. All twinned paired devices associated with the account. So what they're talking about there is like an Apple Watch with your Apple phone, or the Samsung Watch with your Samsung phone. Okay, so basic introduction to basic cellular theory cell towers. So here, these are cell towers right here, you guys.
The cactuses.
The cactus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Examples
or
of
cacti. Is it
yeah.
What is the plural form of cactus?
Cactuses.
No.
Yes,
No.
that's it. Absolutely is.
It's just cactus.
No, when it's plural, there are a mix of S's and Z's at the end. It is.
Oh, okay.
Cactuses is.
The plural of cactus can be either cacti or the conventional English plural cactuses.
So not true. So not true.
Cacti is the Latin plural of cactus, and cactuses is the English plural.
No, it is totally cactuses.
It says, although cacti has the edge. That's what it literally says. Yeah, no, it's cacti.
That is it right there. I'm telling you.
Sure. I thought it was cacti. Cacti has the edge. Cacti for the win.
You read through this document? That's good. That's really good. Because a lot of people don't know this. And I think that's why a lot of people believe that like cell phone data and GPS data. Exactly.
Anti.
Is that's why a lot of people believe that cell phone data and GPS data is so reliable, because they don't have this knowledge. I don't, it's not just knowledge everyone would have. And I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, and I didn't finish when I was ranting earlier. But there's this idea out there, especially on Reddit and some other platforms, where an expert will reach out, okay? And look, maybe there's somebody out there that has been involved with cell phone towers and wireless companies for 30 years. And maybe they would look at me and be like, oh, he's not an expert. But dude, 15 years is longer than a doctorate degree takes. Okay. So I consider myself an expert on this topic. I work directly with it. The only thing that I don't have now. Oh,
She did it.
All right.
Woohoo.
So technically, Michael, you buying all those drove her to want to get it. So you can still have the credit.
No, she was trying the whole time.
I
though.
know.
That's a
I
really
know.
interesting fact, Mike. Don't. Hi, Joey. Don't listen to the salesman.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
And thanks, Bon Bon. That's nice of you. He does know his stuff around this. I feel like a lot of people have tried to speak on it with, what they've researched, but so far I haven't found anyone who really knows what they're talking about.
Just
really knows with experience.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is there is a certain level of if I'm looking back at my experience, then I don't think I would have the same kind of in-depth knowledge without working hands-on with these things. And like what my experience was is I would go and work with major businesses, you guys. So like I've told you guys before that when we were having issues with, there's this thing out there in YouTube world where like creators that have been out for a long time almost are offended by new creators, and new creators get held back. It happened to the lawyer,
Yeah.
It started happening to us. Luckily, I have contacts in YouTube, or I have contacts in Google. Google owns YouTube. And we can kind of combat some of that. But what new creators will do will flag and target.
Not new creators.
What older established creators will do will target new creators and hold them back by flagging their content, like false flags for things.
It's mass reporting. Is what
I don't even think it needs to be mass reporting based on what I was told. One single time will stop the promotion of your video until it can be checked. Just one. So, but luckily we have contacts there because, hey, Google works directly with every cell phone company, you guys, like directly. And they actually use every single cell phone company in Google, every single one of them. So luckily, we have an a leg up with that, but I don't remember where I was going with this story.
Well, Liz asked, can you put that link in the description?
It is.
It's in the description of this
live? No, not this live. But I will. Hang on.
It's in the description of the video.
It's in the description of the video.
You're going to put it in this live too?
Yep, I'll put it in the live.
Oh, the description of the video, not the chat. The description of the video will make it so like it's easier to get to. You don't have to scroll through chat to get to it later.
Oh, what, the cell phone video?
No, this
report.
Link, put it in the live chat description.
Got it. Got it. Yep.
Right here.
I got you.
This.
Yeah. I absolutely can do that. Just hang on one second. I put it in the chat too, but I will put it in the
you know how to do it
live also. But what I was saying earlier before I went on that giant rant again, is just there's this idea out there, and specifically like Reddit is the worst that I've seen in my experience. But where people just expect everybody to know all these things. And I got to be honest that the only reason I know all this stuff is because I worked in that industry for 15 years, and it took a really, really, really long time to learn all this stuff. And like, I've never been in an industry that has more of a learning curve than cellular, you guys. Like, it is so much information. It is an insane, never ending amount of information. It also evolves faster than any industry I've ever seen in my entire life. So in another 10 years, I'll know nothing. You know what I mean? I will know nothing because of how much stuff has changed. But I feel like after 10 years that I would consider myself an expert, because when I'm looking at other topics, if I looked at someone who had 15 years experience in that industry, I would think that they were an expert. So whether someone wants to think I'm an expert or not, it is what it is, you know, but the knowledge is there from that 15 years of working directly with towers, Google, Tesla, Apple, huge companies, medium companies, small companies, ma and pa shops, you know, B2B sales and analytics, where cell sites have to be set up specifically for businesses like Google.
You know, I don't know if I would say it's like necessarily the established creators, guys. I think it's more the people that have like quite a bit of subscribers, but are still on the up and up. Like, they're still like clawing their way to the top, kind of, you know, like those middle channels that aren't all the way there. They're somewhere in the middle. I feel like those are the ones they see other people as threats, and there's literally no need for that.
Yeah.
At all. There
Yeah.
isn't.
Even though
on a rant again. I can't wait to go on a rant again.
That's super funny.
That is super funny, Ian.
But even though we can know who it is, I'll never throw another creator under the bus. Never, 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 never. I will never do it. I don't care if they come at us sideways and put out a public video saying why they don't like us. I will never respond to the drama or to somebody else. Like, I'll share some of the backworking stuff with you. Like, we know that some people, we know who some people have flagged content and things like that. But we just aren't going to put that out there, because the last thing you guys want is drama. You know, we're here to talk about true crime. We're here to learn. We're here to critically think. And I'm here to grow personally. And you guys are incredible community and viewers. And you guys have helped me learn more in the last 3 months than I've probably learned in the last 3 years. So I just don't have any room for that. Do you? I don't have any room for drama.
I don't have any room for the drama. I mean, we just don't engage in it at all. We just we've seen it here and there. We just like,
yes,
we ignore it, you know.
But yes, and what Ian said, we're here to obsess over Kohbergers drama. Exactly.
And two-tone trucks.
Yes, and two-tone trucks.
And bananas.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we just want to support and uplift everybody in the community. And even if they don't, like, because I feel like people who are feeling that way, feeling threatened or whatever, if you're just nice, you know, like the whole kill them with kindness thing, and you're nice to them anyway.
We do.
Like, eventually they'll come around.
They will.
You know what I mean?
Yep, they will. And your karma will be intact. I am terrified of karma, you guys. Like, legitimately terrified of karma. And when you're a negative person to other people, oh gosh, it comes back at you. You know what? Whether you call it karma or whether you call it God, any type of God. When I say God, I'm talking about every religion out there, right? No matter what you call it, it's all the same. And I think everybody has experienced that, whether it's vibrations, and positive vibrations have higher frequencies and things like that, which cause more good things to happen, or karma, or God's wrath, things like that. It comes back on you. So I don't want to be a part of it. I'd rather be here hanging out with you guys and learning stuff, you know? Yes.
Yeah. And there's, I saw Casey say that we like the drama too, but glad you stay out of the brunt of it. You know, drama can be very entertaining. It absolutely can be.
Yeah, it can.
That's just not our business.
Yes,
you know.
yes. I'm not putting down drama creators.
No, because I've watched them lots of times,
Yeah.
and I've liked watching it as entertainment
For sure.
But because it can be like, I don't know. It's just like I feel like there's no place for it in this space. This specific space, I don't feel like there's room for it. It's going to hinder critical thinking.
It's going to hinder critical thinking. And that's what I'm obsessed with. I am obsessed with critical thinking, and I just want to learn things, you know, and it sounds so simple, but I just want to hop on here and learn things with you guys. Exactly, Michael. I'm too young for drama. Okay.
Right.
I'm 29. I feel like the drama, like, prime drama age is 30 to 35, I think, maybe. Well, I appreciate that. Dude, learning can be fun, for real. And one thing I regret is when I was younger, as you guys know, I was a troublemaker. I regret that. I wish I would have paid attention and learned when I was younger, but I didn't have my ADHD under control. I literally couldn't get it under control, you know? So it is what it is, but we're here now and we're exactly where we're supposed to be. So
yeah, learning is fun, for real. Like, I know that sounds so like
cheesy,
yeah, but it totally is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I know. We all have enough drama in high school.
Right. I didn't get to finish high school because of drama.
And yeah, Liz, I think when channels go at each other, it can be very unprofessional sometimes, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So networks provide service through cell towers known as base stations. I mean, maybe for cast, but nobody in the cell phone industry calls them base stations. They call them cell stations. Each base station has a global cell ID, 100%. So if what they're talking about is if you guys look at a giant tower so there's a giant tower, okay? And at the base of the tower here, you'll see a big giant box, and that box gets supported through other tower signal and the wires running under the ground. It actually has two ways to connect. And if the cables underground for whatever reason aren't working, then it connects using radio frequency waves, airwaves to connect to other towers, or vice versa. So AT&T, it was known primarily for its 2.5 gig network, which AT&T was starting to catch Verizon with corporate America, and they ended up losing it. I guess it's not important to now, but why that's important is because when, like, who was it? Crime Sleuthin last night brought up the fact that no, actually there's like 30 towers in Moscow. Yes, she's right. There is 30 plus towers in Moscow, but all of them except 3 are closed frequency stations. They cannot be used for the general public. The general public's phones do not bounce off them. They do not. They are 100% closed networks that do not bounce off phones that don't have a pre-loaded SD and SEID and MEID in their system. And I think in our other video, gosh, I wish I could pull this up like
side by side.
Yeah, to be able to show it. But this is what we talked about in our last video, just to give some reference point here. And like I said, I don't want it to seem like I'm coming on here to try and prove our last video was right. It's right. I promise you, it's right. You know, Crime Sleuthin is nice. I like Crime Sleuthin.
Yeah, she is nice. But Bon nice. Asked, so when, and yeah, I like Crime Sleuthin. So when you look up towers in Moscow, why does that only say 3?
So in reference to my 30 tower comment, so when I say 30, I'm I'm over exaggerating, but it's a lot. I think I counted like 22 or 27 or something like that. But they are the closed network towers, and they'll be highlighted red.
Well, okay, but when you look it up on Google and you're not looking at that like map that you were looking at, it shows only 3, and the reason for that, Bon, is because those are the ones that the public those are the public ones that anybody that goes to Moscow, that's what your phone is going to connect to. So they're really the only ones that matter for the general public.
Yes, because those other private towers don't matter. They do nothing for the general public. Absolutely nothing. There's this idea floating around in the true crime community that those private towers still bounce cell signal off them. They do not. No matter what. If those other 3 towers went down, you guys, they still wouldn't bounce cell signal off it, because those other 3 towers, to answer Liz's question, who uses closed network, those are for our firefighters, police officers, health, for military, yes, all emergency services. So in a situation, if all cell phones went down across the country, they need those, and they have special systems within them and backups. And those towers are literally the reason why Verizon is untouchable in the network game. Now, Verizon has all the federal contracts. They have almost all the corporate America contracts, because corporate America and the feds prioritize reliability over download speeds. Now, when you're looking for like a download speed carrier, T-Mobile blows them out of the water. AT&T blows them out of the water. Their 5G network is so much more in-depth and comprehensive that you would get way faster download speeds with AT&T and T-Mobile, but Verizon owns the corporate America, contracts or whatever.
Joey asked, can a tower tell you if it's overloaded and had to like go to another, bounce off another?
So you are connected to every tower that is within range of your phone, but just because you're connected to it, meaning that tower is reading that your phone is there, doesn't mean that you're transferring data through it. So let's say you're in a situation where you have 3 towers around you, okay? And you're in the middle of those 3 towers, and this is, where is it? 1, 2, 3, okay? And you're closest to 2, but 2 has a maximum capacity of data going in and out of it. So the next closest tower is 1, and you'll be connected to 1, 2, and 3. All 3 towers will recognize that you're there within that area, but you will only be passing, I forget what kind of data it's called that actually holds like cell phone calls and text messages, but you'll only be passing that data through 1, even though all 3 towers know that you're there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but is there any way to tell that one was overloaded and you had to go off of another one? Like, not from the civilian standpoint, maybe from like somebody looking at the phone data. Maybe they could, like an expert, they would be able to tell that.
So yes, but I'm having a hard time understanding where that could be important in a case, because you already know what towers are in range always, and you already know which is the main data tower that they're using. Okay. So can you be further away? Yes.
Okay. Hi, Rumsey.
Hey, Rumsey.
Good to see you. So I think what we're getting at here is, if Bryan was in Pullman and that tower went down in Pullman, the one that's strongest and closest to him, so his phone had to redirect to a Moscow tower, so then it's showing him connected in Moscow. Is there any way to tell, that tower went down, that's why it's pinging off the Moscow one, and that's like, can we figure that out? Is there any way for an expert to look at that and say, okay, that tower was overloaded, so since his phone could have pinged off this one, and it could have shown he was in Moscow?
Yes, but I guess I was just confused because overloaded isn't the right terminology. If a tower is down and or having problems and or multiple antennas were down or receivers were down. The white boxes that are on the side are called receivers. If multiple of those were down, it would just reroute you through a different tower. And yes, that is absolutely possible. Yeah.
But can somebody tell?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
they would be able to see all that information. The only thing is what's important here is not finding out what tower they're connected to. That's not the important thing in any investigation. What's the important thing is this picture right here. This is giving you a description of the RTT time. That RTT time is what we talked about, and that is how much time it takes for this service to go to your phone and come back. And that's what gives you a triangulation, a rough estimate on
like
triangulation.
How fast it takes a boomerang
to
go out and come back.
RTT is literally round trip time. So yes, absolutely.
Here, can you scroll down?
Yep. There.
Bonbon, I saw you ask if Verizon and AT&T were together. I don't know what you meant by that. If you want to clarify, if you have a question.
Yes, Rumsey. I did get the email and Discord message, and I did respond to you, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting us know with that. Okay, so this is
this, so it keeps...
Here, you can do it. So
okay.
Cellular analysis tips. So this gives you the basic rundown of what these guys are looking for. And I think it's important that we think about this in terms of the Idaho 4, right? Because the Idaho 4, while all this is interesting and all this stuff is really reliable, when you look at cases like YNW Melly was under no less than 10 towers at any given time. Like the amount of towers that Melly was under was just insane, you guys. That is so reliable that, I would bet every dollar I had on the reliability of that tower data and information. That's how reliable that is. Once you're getting up to 3 towers, 4 towers, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 towers. You know what I mean? They literally saw him walking around the car, you guys, with cell phone triangulation.
Right.
So what they're going to do for any investigation is determine the phone company and portability issues of the target phone. Portability issues is the services that are turned on or off, and the cell tower connection and data and tower location in that area. What services does the company offer? Are location-based services, triangulation, GPS, ping, PCMD, TrueCall, or timing advanced available. And what they're talking about are the apps locations, the triangulation or trilateration, which is the coordinate locating information from a cell tower, from a cell company. So obtain necessary legal process, warrants of obviously, use mapping program to map relevant locations in cell towers, review the records in Excel or other tools to verify you received what you requested, date phone, and that you received cell records with tower information. So they literally have to create their own map. Why? That's something when I read this that I don't understand. Why does the FBI have to create their own map? When I was working in wireless, that was all created for me on the computer automatically. So I just don't
understand it either.
One login, you guys. So there's this, I don't know if I can give it to you because my logins still work. There's this website out there that I can log into, and it gives me every single tower, every single one. It gives towers that are closed towers. It gives towers that are open towers. It gives me literally everything, all of them. And it gives me every single phone that's connected to every single tower. All I have to do is open this map up, punch in a phone number or select a tower, and it shows me a list of every IMEI, every SIM card, everything. It gives me the strength in a 5-bar signal status. It gives me the status of every single receiver on the cell. It literally gives me everything. It gives I can click on the user and go into settings and look at the average RTT time, like everything, you guys, and it automatically populates. So why the FBI doesn't get to use that, I don't know, but
yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
Strange.
But there were a few questions. Like Liz asked how many towers are in Pullman. There were more than in Moscow. I remembered that.
So it gets fishy when you're looking at the lines of the city. I think it was 5, if I'm remembering correct. I don't have the maps pulled up in front of me, but I think 5.
Most of those were little mini cells too.
Well, no. In Pullman, I think there was like a half of one, and then a full one, and then a mini, and then one questionably tower that I wasn't sure if it was in Pullman or not, I think.
Yeah, we went through in detail on our live stream after that cell phone data premiere.
Yes.
We went live and we talked about it. Maybe you can pull that up later in the stream, pull that map up again if you still have it. But Bonbon said, according to the map in Pullman, it says 4.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But Bonbon asked if AT&T and Verizon are merged together.
No.
No. Dara asked, is there a way to alter speed to change RTT?
So AT&T and Verizon are 2 different networks. One is GSM and the other is I'm having an ADHD moment right now. It's GSM and what is it? Hang on. CDMA. Okay, sorry. ADHD moment, you guys. I forget words, but Verizon is CDMA, like US Cellular and Sprint used to be. So T-Mobile and AT&T are GSM networks.
What's the difference?
Just the way that the phones connect and the type of systems that they use to give you data connection, and that's like very layman term based description.
Is it bad to allow apps to track?
It's personal preference. I don't, just because that also can open you up to hackers and things like that. So I don't let them track. I have all my location services turned off. I have everything on my phone as secure as I can get it. And then when I need location services for an app, I've just gotten in the habit of opening location services, turning it on, using that. And I only turn it on for that one app, by the way, too. Turning it on for that one app, using it, and then turning it off. So I guess it's just personal preference. You know, Apple does have the rotating IP addresses now, where I think it's every 90 seconds, maybe it creates a new IP address, so nobody can gain access to your phone through just a basic IP address connection anymore.
So what about metadata? How long does that take to extract? Does metadata matter when tracking someone's phone?
I mean, you need the phone specifically.
Okay.
So I guess it can, but if you have your GPS location turned on, then it saves it for X amount of time.
And yeah, I saw you guys talking about government issue phones.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Usually when you're on some kind of government assistance, where you're really low income, you can get a free phone. I've actually known multiple people that have got phones, like single moms. They got like free daycare, free phone, you know, to get their life on track, because those things can take up a lot of income, especially if you're on minimum wage. So they are helpful. But Mike, that's really interesting. The reason for free government cell phones is simply to funnel more taxpayer money to corporations. That could definitely be part of it. Okay, because I think that the government definitely tries to benefit themselves while also making it seem like they're benefiting the public, but it is a huge benefit if you are low income. It can be super helpful to get a free cell phone. So maybe I'm okay with it as long as it's getting to the people who need it. Now, when law enforcement stated BK pinged in Moscow, but don't actually think he was there, that is a misleading statement. You know, we had a few people in the chat last night talking about that discrepancy on the PSA, saying that one of like all of their pings, okay, that they documented were accurate, except that one, which I think we determined was the day after when he supposedly revisited the crime scene. That one is the one they weren't sure about and didn't want to include, which is funny because mainstream media has been like promoting that as a fact. He revisited the crime scene. Like, we don't know. For one, we don't know if any of it's accurate. Okay. I posted in Discord in our investigations tab the article that is also talking about it. It's way less specific than Brendan. If you want the real nitty-gritty details, then definitely listen to our videos and the live streams after the premieres on this topic. But there's an article that was written earlier this year in the Idaho Statesman from another cell phone expert who says the same thing that we're saying, that there's no way that they can place him there. There's no way, and that the prosecution shouldn't even bring it up because they're going to be wrong.
Yes.
So, I mean, I mean, that statement in the PCA was super shady, Rumsey.
Yes, the Verizon and Xfinity are one and the same. Same exact company.
Oh, really?
Well, I shouldn't say same exact company. Same towers, same systems, same everything. They are sister companies.
And yeah, his phone was off on the night of the murder, so no data.
Yeah.
Only the evidence of him supposedly stalking them, which from what we found, he could have literally been nowhere near the house. He could have been downtown Moscow shopping like he said he was.
So many people believe, almost everyone believes he has an Android. I would love to know why they think that, because every single one of his family members has Apple. That is very uncommon, you guys. Normally when a family is Apple or is Android or is Google or is whatever, normally everyone uses that, right? Because deals in the wireless industry tend to be manufacturer specific. So when you go into a cell phone company, it's not buy one Apple phone, get one Samsung free. You know, it's buy one Apple, get one Apple free, buy one Apple, get one Apple free, things like that. So I would be shocked if he was like, you know what? I live on my own now. I'm going to school on my own. So I'm just going to go with Samsung now. I bet he has an Apple, you guys.
Yeah, probably.
Unless there's something I'm missing. And of course I could be, of course I could be missing something.
Doesn't metadata show coordinates and of pictures and messages?
So
it can if you have those things turned on your phone.
Metadata is like essentially the background data of applications of operating systems and services. So yes, in pictures there is metadata, but there is also metadata in everything that you do on there.
Yeah, I find it odd, Lori, that they didn't say what time of day he pinged there either. I also find that weird.
And I don't think they can rely on any of it. I really don't. After looking at the maps of Moscow, you guys, I'm going to have to pull that up again just for our new viewers to see how rough that really is. It is strange, man.
And CH is absolutely right that GPS location is tagged to a whole bunch of things, and photos are definitely one. So make sure you have that setting turned off.
Yes, if that's on.
If that's on, because you could upload a picture to social media, somebody could download it, look at the metadata, and find out where you live or where you are in that picture.
Yes, and there are also shady ways that it can be used too in corporations. If you're with a really shady insurance company and you get into an accident, and for whatever reason you gave them the wrong location of accident because you're shaken up, you're going through a trauma response, they can come back and be like, oh, you're lying. We aren't paying for that. You know, I've seen stuff like that happen before.
What I want to know is, what do BK's pings look like after the murders, but before he was arrested?
So that is something that would be super interesting to look at, how he did things beforehand. So
yeah,
like
the meaningful change, like if he had stopped pinging
yes
after the murders but was pinging on them before, it
yes
could be, yes,
like every day it shows him drive, even though you wouldn't know where he was at, right? Could they prove that he was crossing the bridge into Moscow? I think they could probably prove that. There's some reliability there, just not exact locations. But could they prove he drove into Moscow? Yeah. Was he doing it every single day and then right after it stopped? You know what I mean?
yeah, that would be interesting.
And that's a way to use cell phone data that you don't need to be precise on. You know?
Rumsey, interesting.
What?
So other people are saying that they all have like Apple, but one person in their household has an Android. So because he said he was indigent, my whole family has Apple and I have Android. So there's something behind people thinking he has an Android.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to know. I just know that every single picture I looked up, everything I could find about his family, they're all Apple users, all of them. And we know that they asked for Apple IDs. And that's important because you can't use your Apple ID on a phone. And you guys, if I still worked for AT&T, you better believe I would look.
Okay,
I couldn't tell you. I'd get in trouble for telling you, but I would look.
So because he couldn't pay for his own lawyer, people thought he had Android. That's a little silly.
Yeah, that's weird. Android phones are actually more expensive than Apple. There are some Androids that are way more expensive.
So PCA says he didn't return to Moscow after November 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do we know that for sure?
Yeah.
Because the PCA is just kind of
see real quick.
Yeah. Can you unhighlight comments before though?
Here, you can use it again.
I'm just curious how accurate that is.
Yeah.
If we can even know that for sure, because he also left, you know.
This is how they're doing it. They set up their report. So they set up a tower list by combining 4 columns, import tower list into a mapping program, plot addresses from crime, filter call detail records by date, and identify the towers. On your map, locate tower sector using date, time, and crime. Draw sector coverage. What do we need? Date and time of the crime, location of the crime scene, call detail records, tower list for cellular service provider, call detail, tower list, CastViz. CastViz was created by Cast Team in conjunction with the other government agencies that perform mapping analysis. CastViz is available free to law enforcement personnel and is located here. The program can be downloaded by any official computer. Maps analysis created by CastViz should not be taken to court without being validated for accuracy. This is what it looks like. Bam. Call detail history. Let's see. Does this have? No. Okay. So this is what we would be seeing. So it would give you who they're calling, how long the call lasted, what cell site, duration, time, date, dialed digital number, and mobile directory number. This gives the Latin long for towers. And then this is their creation of said map. So super interesting. They have to create this said map. And the reason why it's always like this is because this is the 120 degrees. There's 3 sides. Each side is 120 degrees, totaling the 360 degree mark. And then on top of it, to make sure that their reporting is legit, you guys, they literally go and drive to verify. They drive all around. I'm assuming they make calls. They do all kinds of stuff to verify strength, possibility, things like that. Test equipment was in relation to the cell towers. They literally just drove all over. Dark shaded areas indicate where the tower provides the best coverage compared to the surrounding towers. This alone is proof of how reliable and or unreliable these are, right? What black box is Gina talking about? The black box from the video? Her video that showed it was connected to 11. It's interesting though. So with those boxes, a lot of people assume that there's like a box and that radio wave connects directly up to the satellites, but it doesn't work like that. There are ground satellite enhancement locations where it can be one data stream connecting to that data location, and then that gets bounced around to other sites connecting up to 11 satellites. So you're not necessarily connected to 11 satellites directly. You're connected to a ground base that bounces your signal through the 11 satellites. And this is the 120 degrees. Bam. Certain phones can get better signal from a tower depending on like iPhones have 3 antennas in them.
So, CH, you said that you saw you had an Android from people who wouldn't say that without receipts. Did they cite any sources? Like, did they show why they believe that? Just curious. If you have any receipts on that, any confirmations, for sure, let us know. Email it to us or Discord or.
I read that he had an Android 2 somewhere,
Yeah.
but I couldn't find any confirmation. And when he gets pulled over, there are 2 cables, Apple cables, because they're white. So, and the tip of them, you can tell it's a lightning connector.
And right, it was holiday season, Thanksgiving, Christmas. His dad came. There's many reasons he could have stopped traveling to Moscow.
All of them look like this. You can tell, So based on the chargers I saw in his car, I believe that he is an Apple user.
Rumsey said, I wonder if as a TA he was issued a WSU work phone. I don't know if they do that.
They totally could. And another...
Do they?
They could, yeah. Another option is he could also have a tablet. A tablet also has a phone number attached to it too. If you have data or cell phone services connected to it. So technically he could have an iPad, right? That he does all his schoolwork on, is connected to AT&T and gets cell service. And then he could have, an Android, whatever, the Samsung Galaxies.
That's funny. Her boyfriend's number ends in the same number as Kohbergers, or at least his IMEI or something.
That is super funny.
That is funny. Weird, huh?
If I had my AT&T logins, dude, I would check. I couldn't not.
Hey, Anthony, appreciate it.
Yes. Yes.
What did Ian say? Well, right here. This one first.
Oh.
I've been a TA for 6 years, and I've never heard of TAs getting issued work phones, especially not at a public university. Yeah,
that's good.
It sounded probably not normal.
Yeah.
It would be not a commonplace thing.
Yeah.
He might have had an office phone number, like a landline, though, if he had his own office.
Yeah.
Like some kind of, what is that called? Where you dial the thing.
What?
Gosh, I can't think of what it's called. Extension.
Yeah, an extension.
On like a landline.
And then this gives you the breakdown of those 3 areas and how they will label them. So.
Okay, Amanda, no worries. I'll keep an eye out for your message.
And then plotting, they build their own.
TAs from different universities do talk because we like to complain about being TAs.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it would be interesting. So now Rumsey kind of mentioned, okay, it would be interesting if this cast report reveals if there's any dates BK was in approximately showing his location at any time before the murder. So even though cast is a team of like cell phone analysts, like data analysts,
you can get a cast report from a cast team member. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Like they do issue reports.
Yes, just not in this circumstance. They didn't order or ask for a cast report. According to Payne, Payne had enough knowledge and understanding, like Sarge was saying, and I need to shout Sarge out for mentioning that. But he was spot on with that there's no way Payne, who is a law enforcement professional, his career is in law enforcement and knowing law enforcement, would have the type of knowledge and or training to build a map with this information for Kohbergers pings. No possible way. This is not something somebody could just open this up right here, this document, and be like, oh, got it. I can do everything now.
Right.
It's
He's
just not happening.
He's not going to know anything. So interesting. What if it was like an intern cadet law enforcement type issued phone, which could be, if he was in fact employed and they just don't want to admit it. But I did see Dara said public school post COVID or people using Google numbers. So Ian, were there any universities that issued phones to employees post-COVID to help them stay connected? Still yet, almost everybody's got their own devices. That it seems unnecessary for a public school to have to invest that much money in getting all employees phones.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of schools issue tablets. A lot of them do.
Yeah.
So it could be a tablet.
It could be. Yeah. It absolutely could be. I think it is totally possible to have an Android and an Apple iPhone.
Yeah, he could have been issued some kind of tablet that was connected to cell phone service.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so this is the Google Earth Pro info. Now, I said this a little bit in the video. So there's this idea out there that everyone thinks that you can be tracked anywhere, any place, anytime, and they know everything that's going on. If you have Google Maps or Google Earth Pro or anything Google related, and you don't have location services turned to only when using or turned off and you only turn it on when you're wanting to use it, then they know all of that because Google Earth and Google Maps, Google Pro, all those apps track everything to an insane detail, less than 1 foot. Okay. Less than 1 foot. Whether you're using it, whether you're not, whether your cell phone data is turned on. Because remember, talking about GPS here, cell phone data does not have to be on, you guys. It does not have to be on because it's not through your cell service.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bon Bon. The PCA was a story to fit their narrative, just like possibly Dr. Moore, allegedly. I think that's a huge possibility.
Yeah, I think it's possible that this case was worked backwards in that way. And the worst part about it, what makes it dangerous when we see cops who work backwards is they truly believe they're doing the right thing. And that's scary. That's scary because while I appreciate law enforcement feeling like they need to keep the public safe and it is their job to keep the public safe, and that's commendable. It is. And I am so pro law enforcement. I will back law enforcement always until I start seeing issues. When I start seeing issues, red flags go up, and I start questioning everything. But I think law enforcement deserves our respect as the general public. And I think that they absolutely put themselves in the line of fire to keep people safe, just like our military does. And it's commendable and important, and we need it. And I appreciate all of them. But because they're a public servant, I also think that that comes with harsh judgment and grading from the general public, who are the people that they are supposedly keeping safe.
Yeah, I agree with you. So Ian answered. So a year ago, I networked with a ton of TAs from a bunch of different schools across the state and the country because of a strike going on across the entire UC system. We weren't issued cell phones during or post-pandemic. The main adjustment is that we were given buffed up academic Zoom accounts free of charge. That makes total sense.
Zoom.
And Lori, yes, he was studying. Bryan Kohberger was studying cloud forensics. It doesn't make sense that he would take his phone with him.
Agreed.
It really does not.
If you can understand cloud computing, dude,
your basic criminal, a lot of them, if they're like a career criminal, know not to take their phone with them.
They do.
This day and age, they know. They don't even have to be an IT specialist, and they know not to take their phone with them when they're like, I don't know why that just happened, but when they're like scouting or, casing a place, they do not take their phones with them normally if they know what they're doing.
Most people will pop their SIM out, which smart, pop SIM out and phone off. Okay, so the providers section of this manual has more details on each of these services. So this is exactly what we can expect to see from CAST, from each cell phone provider, right? And this is Sprint was still around and hadn't been connected or combined with T-Mobile yet, but AT&T Nelos generates location event data via probes on the mobile network. Use cautiously. This is so important. Use cautiously. AT&T does not validate photos if subscriber has this feature turned on. Oh wait, AT&T messaging results can get content and photos.
So AT&T does not validate. Yeah, AT&T does not validate results. AT&T messaging results can get content and photos if subscriber has this feature turned on.
That. Yeah, super important. And no problem at all. Honestly, nobody is. And I feel like so many people out there pretend like, especially like I was saying earlier on Reddit, everyone that responded, except for the people that are in the community and we have a relationship on here, everything. But like random people, they all responded like they did a Google search to know what they were semi talking about, but didn't really know what they were talking about. And they're like, you could get such better responses from an actual expert on Quora or whatever. And I could tell with what they were saying that they didn't know what they were talking about. It was a Google search understanding,
Right. Which is what my base level was, because I kind of slightly looked into it.
The only reason I know is because my career depended on it. Otherwise, I wouldn't know this stuff, you guys.
I used to be tech savvy with like Windows 90. That's when I was tech savvy.
Windows 90.
I was like all up in the HTML coding and everything, like MySpace. I knew all of that stuff. I think if I kept on it, I probably would have been really good at it, but I didn't. I had other priorities. Hey, Katie. Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Amanda got her PayPal links.
She did.
After all of that gifting party.
Well, that was awesome. It made me feel good about our community. I hope it made everyone feel good about it.
Oh, I didn't even think of that, Michael. You can't at people if they have an emoji first.
Oh.
Interesting.
Wow.
But her name is super cute. I love the little ghost.
Yeah. Okay, so location-based services. This is the important part, right? So mobile locate triangulated coordinates of device based on timing advance, or AKA RTT, round trip time. So on timing advance or time on arrival, and suspected radius emailed every 15 to 30 minutes. Use event-based mobile locate. So Bryan thought he was safe because he didn't turn phone on until he was out of suspect range. He knew his number would not be listed on phones that pinged in the crime area in the time slot of the crime. And
that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. However, with his background in technology and cloud computing, forensic,
cloud-based forensics.
Yeah, cloud-based forensics. I feel like that could also prove suspect at the same time. But I think it could go either way. I really do, because I think he would know enough that, hey, if there was stalking going on, if there was something going on there, they would be able to see all of my data points and everything leading all the way up to this. And then all of a sudden, the night this crime happened, I turned my phone off. When you guys, the right answer here, if he truly did this and truly didn't want to get caught, is either taking your SIM card out at home or leave your phone at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So Bonbon said you guys have to do a members only video. We have posted one, and the early access to content, which is part of it. Where do you post those links?
Yes. So I'm going to be posting the early access links. I just have to figure it out because I can't plan it. Like, I can't set it to release tomorrow at 7 p.m. and send the link out. I don't think it works. I need someone to test it with. I might, if you guys see that I submit or post a link to a video and it doesn't work, comment
to a community post,
to a members post, comment and say that, it doesn't work. It's not working, because I might send a test one out there. And then I know we're doing ones on here. And then I'm also trying to figure out a reliable way where if you're a YouTube member, then you automatically get a Patreon membership, and vice versa. I would love to find a way to make that work where I can add people in and remove them, because, it's going to be similar content, but like on Patreon, they let me do audio recordings so I can update people. I know we had somebody that we did a shout out on the podcast because they were a tier 3 or higher. Michael's going to have to get a shout out this week for his commitment to getting Amanda a membership. But tier 3 or higher is the $19.99 commitment, and then we shout those people out on the podcast that goes on all the platforms and everything. But I would like to be able to get people that are members on YouTube also the Patreon stuff too.
CH, haven't found the receipt, but think that the Android belief comes from BK's Google SW search warrant. When they asked for all Android records and Android devices, I'll dig a little deeper. They also asked for some Apple too, though.
Two.
Yeah.
Yep.
2 IMEIs from Apple. So Joey doesn't think he turned off his phone at all. It wasn't in service, and it's not that great in Moscow. Possibly. I already highlighted Amanda's comment.
That's super funny. Blushing for 10 straight minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Nancy Grace thinks it's a done deal, but I couldn't disagree with her more.
Yeah. And look, we say this all the time, and you guys are already going to know what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? But I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face for our new members, that we don't need Kohberger to be innocent. That is not our goal on Thought Riot Podcast. Our goal is to critically think about the evidence and any high profile case that's out there to see where there's issues, to see if these charges are going to stick, if they could be deemed guilty or innocent, where the flaws are in the investigation. And we try and go about it in a positive way. I mean, shoot, we have police officers that follow us on here and talk about their experience, which again is super commendable, all police officers. And I just think when they're doing something not right, they need to be judged harshly. But the goal is to just question some of that. When we compare Bryan Kohbergers' case to another case like Gilgo 4, that my go-to case that I always compare it against, dude, the evidence is not strong. It is not a slam dunk. Like, you have these hot button highlight words like, oh, well, they have DNA. You're right. They have transferable trace DNA that has been proven time and time and time again in 3 different science experiments that I could shake someone's hand and then go grab a knife and do something bad. And I can put that person's skin cells and DNA that I just shook their hand on the murder weapon. It's been proven 3 different cases. Okay. And so like, that's not great evidence. Then we have his car, and we have 2 other confirmed cars without front license plates also, you guys, and also out of state, that are identical, just one less year, or like one, it's the 11 through 13 or whatever, that were also in the area confirmed. It's just not a lot of good information. Then they're leaning on cell coverage, and look at this, there's just holes, tons of holes.
Were you responding to this? Is that what you were responding to? Could be sentimental, or he's trying to make it look normal by doing same route twice.
Totally possible.
So CH, Apple search warrants, we don't know who they were for. They redacted the name. They redacted all information other than they're looking at 2 Apple IDs with 2 separate IMEIs. So it's from September 8th, 2023. If that was a part of the whole release of Amazon, Apple, PayPal / Venmo, Spotify, and YouTube. That was a part of all that. We did a video on that recently, actually.
Yep, it was part of that bulk of search warrants that we believe they're looking for clicks. They're looking for any of that metadata, background data, anything that could help connect him further to the crime. Because I do think the prosecution is now seeing this and saying, whoa, guys, like, it's not looking good, Again, and I always tell everyone this, that our hardcore Kohberger did it, I'm unwilling to look at or question any evidence ever. Compare this evidence to Gilgo. Dude, Gilgo is a done deal, my friends. Like, done deal. There is no way he's getting out. Period.
Right, and I was just reminded, I asked you if everything went okay at the hospital earlier today.
Yeah.
I don't know if you replied. I didn't see it, but I hope everything's okay. And you're right, no DNA in his vehicle. That's a big deal. That's
huge.
Honestly, I'm not saying he is an experienced criminal, because I don't believe he is. But we have to look at it this way. He was super busy working on his PhD, okay? And he was basically an expert in cloud-based forensics. He was a criminal, going for his PhD in criminology, a very busy person, obviously. Anybody who's studying to get their PhD is going to be super busy. And him being a criminologist, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying that's going to make him an expert criminal, because it won't. You cannot account for the feelings going into the crime, the anxieties, the excitement. If he's somebody that gets off on it, there's so many things you can't account for. And also just experience doing that. It's like teaching somebody on a computer how to drive a plane and then putting them in the cockpit and be like, fly the plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 2 totally separate things.
Yeah.
So, you can train, you can study, you can case the place, you can, do all this research to try to commit the best crime ever, but you're still probably going to make mistakes. It's just the mistakes he made, in my opinion, don't make sense. And I see holes in the investigation. I see holes in the PCA, this cell phone and GPS and whatever data.
Question marks.
Because what they're saying, how they located him, isn't possible from everything, from his expertise and everything that we're seeing.
Yeah. And yes, they could pull it. However, they're going to have the same problems that we're seeing when talking about Kohbergers' potential location services. They're going to have the same problem with the girls. Here, I'll pull it up real quick. Give me 1 sec. I need to switch this over real quick. Hang on.
That's a good point, though, Jetta, that his own DNA should be in the car. Yes, and his dad's. I mean, I would hope so. But clearly, I don't know if they're going to state that, because clearly they're looking for blood. They're looking for the victim's DNA, their blood. So I don't know if they would actually even report that. Would they? I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because that's expected. Just like at the crime scene, like all that blood, they didn't report like, oh, yes, we have these victims' DNA. Like, no, it's a super bloody crime scene. They would only really tell us if they found the killer's blood DNA, which is what they did.
Okay, so let me find where we at here.
But it would be interesting if they swabbed everything and couldn't find his or his dad's DNA, because that would indicate cleaning. But they did test for cleaning agents and they didn't find any. Like any harsh solvent that could get rid of DNA, it wasn't found in the car. So that indicates, unless he has some special knowledge of some special kind of cleaner that, dissipates super fast, that shows us that he didn't meticulously clean the car.
Yes. And this is an example that we were talking about earlier, how you guys will see one tower like this and all cell phone carriers are on here. Normally, not always, but normally whoever owns this tower will be this up here and then a different carrier and then a potentially different carrier. So, just as an example from earlier. Now, let me find the actual maps.
But I think asking questions from both perspectives is really important, Jetta. So we appreciate your input. I don't want to ever make anyone that thinks that the evidence leads towards guilt feel shut down.
No,
ever.
We want people in here that believe that he's guilty, and we want to be able to talk about it. Opposing theories is critical thinking. You literally can't think about any topic critically without having opposing theories to bounce those ideas off of.
Well, that's also an interesting topic, Jetta, because if he did have access to the crime lab and new chemicals, could that also be cross-contamination with DNA in the knife sheath?
Yeah, and the only question I have with that immediately is if there were new chemicals in there, wouldn't FBI know about said chemicals and potentially suggest looking for it? Because my assumption when they got that car, you guys, is I'm just guessing it's a situation where they're like, what? Nothing? We need to check that again and again and again. Pull up the carpets, pull up the padding, pull up everything, pull out the filters, pull out the rubber, like everything, I truly think they believed they were going to find a petri dish of DNA.
Banfield needs to retire and get a therapist.
Yes.
Nancy Grace, that's who needs to retire and get a therapist. Okay. And you're absolutely right, Ian. She's into crime with a personal vengeance. I didn't realize that it was because her fiance got shot out of college, though. Very interesting. So CH posted a link to a Cellbrite location video article in the Discord in the expert weighs in on cell tower data thread under Birdie. I think you will really like the series. Thank you, CH.
Yeah.
You'll have to check it out.
Who just recently talked about cell phone data is that lawyer you like.
Oh, the one that's like on the is coming up
that
right now?
Ian loves too.
Oh,
Ian loves her
at
too.
Burkhart?
Yes, Burkhart. I like her a lot, but
I do too.
I think she could benefit from a cell phone expert talking to
we
her.
need to get her on, and then you can inform her.
Yeah, because she missed a lot of things on when she was talking about that.
I
But
want her on so
understand,
bad.
yeah, she's from a legal perspective.
Right.
So again, there is no reason why she should know this stuff. None
No.
whatsoever. She needs to know it from a legal standpoint.
Right. The question mark killer. Good point. And yes, they were looking for anything,
Yeah.
any
Here,
kind of DNA
real quick.
in the car. What are you pulling up? A map?
Yeah, these are the towers, you guys, that we talked about briefly yesterday and said we were going to pull up today. So that blue dot is a tower. The reason why it doesn't have one of those little green things is because that's the tower I was working on when I took this snip. And that red one at the top is a closed data line. So that is a tower that cannot be accessed by public phones. And there are a ton of them. I just wanted to keep one in there as an example to explain, to show to everybody, you know?
I think people are also really interested in the Pullman towers too, and where the crossover is.
Yeah.
We should take a screenshot of a map of that to have it to pull up. But hey, Madison, no worries. And yeah,
Welcome.
Matt, I saw you talking about the no cleaning agents. That really had me floored.
Yeah.
That had me floored when they couldn't find any chemicals in the car. And I agree, the 3 unknown male DNAs is, it's another thing that gets me. But
you know what one of the guys from the Drunk Turkey show had said? He said he has a contact that's like boots on the ground in that area, and that they have been instructed by Moscow PD or ISP to lie about everything. I thought that was interesting. There's no way to verify that, but I just was like,
we'll check it out, CH.
What about the Celebrite?
Cellbrite is the company that trains LE FBI. Jared Barnhart seems to be the most up-to-date digital intelligence and smartphone
Celebrite does? I'm really surprised at that.
Yeah, Burkhart. Ian loves Burkhart. Yes. And I think Nancy has a great personality, even though she's a bit harsh. Like, her brand sells for a reason. I just, she has a vengeance with every case, and she does not wait to call somebody guilty until there's more evidence, which I don't personally like. And no, it's not hard to plant DNA. That would not be a difficult thing to do.
Yeah. But those are the 3 towers in the Moscow area, you guys, that we have pulled up here. Here, I'll move.
Yep, go ahead.
All right, so maps. And this is an example of this one right here. So this tower, you guys, this blue dot is a water tower. So it's not a full range 360-degree tower. It is a mini tower, which is only 120 degrees. It is this site right here. Bam. It only has coverage on one side. You can literally see them right here.
And I watch Nancy Grace, you guys. I totally watch her. And I like her coverage on some cases where it's like obvious a person's guilty, but like in this case, she's just not a reliable source for information, in my opinion. But go ahead.
So this is that same tower. So on the water tower right here, this is King Road. This is where the house is, and this is the coverage. So that tower is null and void, you guys. Doesn't matter. It doesn't count.
But it would matter for tracking him coming into Moscow
from
Pullman, because this interstate
right here,
that interstate up there, the big green line right here, that's the interstate that comes in.
Oh yeah, that
from
is it. You're right.
Pullman. So that covers that whole area where he would drive in, unless he took back roads. But that main
I think
road,
there is only one way.
I
in.
think so
Yeah.
too.
I don't think there's
too.
back roads unless you go way down south. Yeah, she just does a bunch of grandstanding.
She does.
I would love to go up to bat against her. I really would, to have like an intense conversation.
Did you guys?
I don't think any one of our viewers has seen me like get into my conversations.
Not like that. No. So did you guys realize it's Friday the 13th tomorrow? If any if any of you guys watched the Northwest Slasher video, you know that's like a really bad day.
Yeah.
Lock your doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sus to us.
Scary.
But yeah, so that tower doesn't even cover King. Null and void. Here's the other tower. Theophilus.
It's just a little mini tower on top of a building.
And King Road.
I know. I hate that Nancy cuts everyone off. I don't like that either.
But someone just needs to call her on it. I don't see people do that. If I was there, I would be like, I would let her finish what she's saying and then be like, hey, I would really appreciate it if you didn't interrupt me anymore, because in order for us to have an adult conversation, you have to let me respond, and you're not letting me respond, which comes off a little childish. So how are we going to have a realistic conversation that your viewers are going to like, and we're going to be able to have adult topics thoroughly? You know what I mean? Like, there's a way you can do it where you would make someone feel like a jerk.
Right. October and Friday the 13th, Amanda. I know. But I agree with you. Like, they had Chad, I forget his full name, from the interview room, and I actually really like him a lot. He's a very knowledgeable, experienced investigator. She had him on talking about the Charlotte Senna kidnapping, and he was like, yes, Nancy, you're 1,000% correct. And she was like, kept trying to talk, and she was like, is that even a thing? Just cutting him off completely. Is that even a thing? 1,000%. Like, so annoyed that he said that. And I'm like,
gosh,
Jesus, why don't you nitpick everything everyone says? You're worse than trolls on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, that's so ridiculous.
She is a troll.
Military went on alert today. Is that because of the call to action for Palestinians and stuff? Yeah.
Hey, you guys like the new subscribe button?
Kind of scary.
The Thought Riot logo.
Keep them all in your thoughts over there, man. The atrocities going on over there are horrible.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Any loss of life is horrible, awful.
What's going on over there is like really, really, really bad.
Yeah. So our thoughts are with them. I don't want to get too much into politics. And unfortunately, it's a very like politically charged topic right now, but there's a way to talk about it where you can, be there for any loss of life. We don't want any loss of life, dude. It doesn't matter what your background is or what you look like or who you are or where you're from or what you're doing. All loss of life sucks.
Oh gosh, Lori said happy Friday the 13th from the East Coast. It's midnight. This is the time the freaks come out. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Friday the 13th is the time to be scared, guys.
3:33. And then the final tower. This is a blown up version because this final tower is a real 360-degree cell phone tower, you guys. 360-degree cell phone tower. King Road is right under here. And it covers it, as you can tell.
Okay, what about the GPS stuff? Is there any more we can talk about with that? Like in how they combine this data to locate somebody?
I mean, yeah.
Paw Patrol said, my people do not claim Nancy Grace as one of our own. We voted her off the island a long time ago.
That's super funny. Let me see. And this is just talking about the locator triangulation. That's a good example map right there.
Regina, you think you figured out BK's phone number? No way. And no, Rumsey, I didn't get an email to stand with the Jews. I just stand with humanity. I want peace.
Yeah.
This is an endless war spanning like a century or more. You know,
It's just any loss of life.
It's just sad. Like, I just don't want anybody to die from either side. I don't want anyone to, because it's not all civilians, but it's a lot of civilians, innocent people, kids. It's just terrible. The pictures I've seen. Don't go to Twitter if you don't want to see pictures that are just awful.
Yeah. So common device analysis, IP addresses, MAC addresses, serial numbers, advertising IDs, license plate readers, Google IDs, telephone numbers, IMSIs, ESNs, MEIDs, IMEIs, social security numbers, and data from geofence warrants.
So wait, what is all of that for?
Information that they will gather from the cell phone company.
Social security numbers?
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's part of setting an account up. Other investigative tools. Someone said OnStar earlier.
Yep.
So OnStar has GPS, right, in the car. Facebook has it, Apple Maps, and Google. Big time.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh.
Facebook and Instagram are the same.
We are all just numbers. It's true.
All right, so here's a very important part. This is talking about cell phone data reliability, and I put this really big on the picture of the video. Use data cautiously during an investigation and do not, in bold letters, do not rely on data for testimonies.
Hey, so 107th viewer, the 17th percent. So I'm assuming you mean likes, guys. If you are on the stream, please like it. It really helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
Just a reminder.
Helps us grow.
Because I forget to do it too. And then I feel bad when I click out of the video and I forgot to like.
Yes.
Because it is really super helpful. Oh, Ian. Dang. It is really sad. Well, I'm glad they weren't over there when it started because, yeah, I mean, they are getting attacked in their homes. And yeah, Twitter is kind of like the dark web. I have seen horrible things on there. J-Ray. Yeah, TikTok too. J-Ray, I wondered if you fell asleep or something. Yeah, it is extremely sad. I've been looking more into the history of it rather than the gory details of now, because I want to understand it a little bit better. Okay, let's go.
Location-based services for AT&T, triangulated coordinates of device based on timing advance or time on arrival and suspected radius emailed every 15 to 30 minutes. Nelos generates location event data via probes on the mobile network. Use cautiously. Funny how they say that all over this. Use cautiously. AT&T does not validate results. AT&T messaging results can get content and photos if subscriber has this feature turned on.
Do they only say use cautiously with AT&T?
Nope.
No?
No.
I don't see it under the other ones, though.
Use cautiously.
Do not rely on data.
Yep.
Do not use the latitude, longitude, and the PCMD records. Use the tower distance.
Yep. So location-based services with Verizon, no. However, Verizon is working on creating a tool. RTT can be used, though.
No. Oh, with US Cellular, no. However, you
No.
can force a call without a ring to the target device to determine tower sector. Whoa.
Yeah.
So are you did Kohberger have AT&T?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's
Right.
why we're highlighting that.
I
Yeah.
thought you said that.
Yep. So, provider retention periods. Subscriber, they keep that 7 years. Call detail records, 7 years. Cell site voice, 7 years. SMS, 7 years. 7 years. SMS content, no. Cell site data, 7 years. Tower dump, 7 years. Mobile locate triangulation, no. 90 days. Wi-Fi calling, pending. Voice over LTE, yes. Store video, yes.
Okay,
Voicemail.
so what does that mean?
That's just all the different types of data that you're creating and or using with your phone. So call record or voice, SMS, text, content. SMS content is what's in the text messaging. Wi-Fi, voice over LTE is like a secondary line, and data. So you're using both at the same time.
So this is their retention periods. How long they keep that data in records.
Correct.
Okay. Jerry was trying to give her cat a bath.
Oh.
I like John and Hank Green. Doesn't Hank have cancer? Unfortunately. Ian said he worships them as his own personal Odin. But I'll go check out their video, Ian.
Yeah, we'll check them out for sure.
Yeah.
This just gives a breakdown on how to do it. Export data.
Oh, good. He's in remission. That's good.
AT&T, so subpoena, where you go, the cost of it. Yes. So that is pretty much it.
ZJ said you can frame someone with this stuff. Is there any way to manipulate this to frame someone?
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They you can fraudulate GPS location, triangulation. Absolutely. You gotta have some serious skill, but yes. Yep.
Oh, hey, Riddler. Yeah, Michael and Amanda were wondering where you were, Riddler. Hope you're doing well tonight.
Yes.
Oh, man. A sticky fly trap stuck on a cat would suck, Amanda. I would think oil. I would probably put like some kind of cooking oil and work it into the fur to get it unstuck and then probably give him a bath.
And here is the cell coverage of the area. He had AT&T. It's not so hot. No. 5G, rough. Like real rough. 4G LTE, meh.
So the light blue, what is that?
That is 4G and 4G LTE. Rough. But look at Verizon, geez. No 5G, almost no coverage.
Yeah.
Hey, Riddler. Welcome.
Yeah, a lot of rain all over the country. Yeah, AT&T doesn't look very good. So the darkest blue is 5G though, right? And there isn't any.
Yeah, it's just 5G. Yes, correct.
And then this like really light blue, is that 3G?
No, that's 4G.
And then what's this blue? That's actually
I think that's LTE.
Okay.
Oh no, 5G. It's not 5G plus.
Oh, okay.
So there is a little, it looks like.
Hey, Slayer.
But I will try and pull up the map for Pullman real quick. Where are you? Actually, I don't think it was in this one. I think it was 40. Yes. Okay. I got it here. What? Okay. Here we go, Pullman. 4. Whoa.
What do we got?
Hang on. I'm hoping this loads. There we go. Okay.
No way, J Ray. You
Pullman.
have a light bulb tattoo. Oh, hey, Drunk Turkey Show. What's up?
Oh, hey, what's up?
Hope you're doing good tonight.
Yeah. Welcome.
J Ray, you were made to be a thought writer.
Awesome to have you here.
Light bulb tattoo. That's so funny. What does it say? Does it say anything, or is it just a light bulb?
Yeah, so this is Pullman's towers for public towers. This is not the closed lines. So let's see if this is actually considered Pullman.
Everyone's gobbling.
Hang on here. That doesn't get. Okay, this is Whitman County. So is that considered Pullman? I don't know.
I believe Pullman is in Whitman County, but I can look it up.
Yeah.
What's the address?
3454 Enman Kincaid.
Enman Road.
Yes.
Yes, it is Pullman.
Okay, so it is Pullman. So yes, we are on Pullman right now. So it looks like Pullman does have 5 towers. 5 towers. Here's the 3 that we covered. 1, 2, 3. This is a closed line. This is a closed line. This one's interesting. No.
So that's a mini cell, right?
It is correct. Mini
cell. That's what we were.
Bam.
That's what we were running into last time. I knew several of them were mini cells, and that's
then
the
this
real
one is, yep. This is the big tower we were talking about. Look at that.
And it covers. Does it cover King Road?
No, I don't. I think maybe it's right on the edge.
Okay. Where's King Road?
Wait.
Why am I not seeing it right now?
Yeah, hang on. I gotta.
It was Right there, Linda Lane,
Yeah.
Queen Road, King Road.
Yeah. So it's right on the
Barely.
edge. So you would be, oh, that's a rough one. Could you get some kind of RTT from it? Probably, depending on who. So are we on AT&T towers? I think we are on AT&T. Yes. So that's questionable, man. That's a questionable one. The one thing that's interesting, though, is this tower covers all the way through here, but look how many towers are in the way of it. So 1, then you have boom, boom, 3, whoa, and then 4. So are you going to get a reliable coverage with 3 towers in the way of it? Probably not. That's not good for triangulation. Yeah, well, we're super stoked to have you here. That's what I do too. Is I'll catch a live while I'm doing editing. I was just talking about you actually because you made a comment. I was watching one of your shows and you made a comment that you had someone boots on the ground or close to the case that had said that they've been instructed by law enforcement to fabricate responses. I thought that was super interesting. Super interesting that almost everything that we hear should or could be taken with a grain of salt, you know?
Yeah. No way, J Ray. It's a light bulb and it has a little bit of electrical lightning in it, like the light coming off of it. LOL. Light bulb, lightning bolt, but also the lightning bolt makes a 13. That is so weird.
Yeah, like this. Hold on. Let me see if I like this one. This light bulb. Do you see it?
She's seen our logo before.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was like a light, like
coming off
lightning like that.
But
yeah.
She said there's lightning inside of it, making the number 13.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What's the 13 stand for, J Ray?
Oh, this is our new one here. I'll just put it up here. Look at the new one Malia made. I think this one's good. I like that one for the subscribe button. But yeah, so even though this Pullman one covers that far, you guys, I don't put a lot of faith in that just because of the layout of the land right there. But I understand that I'm saying that where if for whatever reason those 3 towers in Moscow went down, could that offer coverage to King Road? Sure. I think it probably could.
So then technically, could there be a triangulation?
No, not with that tower lineup. You have multiple towers blocking there is no triangulation. So an ideal triangulation is going to look like this, of course. It's never going to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, right? With any of these sciences, it just doesn't happen. Well,
are you looking for the 3 like circles?
Yep, right there.
Okay.
So in a perfect world, this is what your cell tower triangulation is going to look like, right? At least
you're not
some
sharing.
Form,
you're not sharing the tab.
At least some form of a triangle. But
with you in the middle.
Yes. Yeah. So when they're all in a line, it gets much harder because the cell phone is going to prioritize other towers in other regions that doesn't have a cell tower blocking the data line. Like imagine an imaginary line connecting to that tower. It doesn't have data line blocking it. It's difficult to explain. Yeah, no, I get the source part. But basically, I'm aware of a situation where questions were asked and after PCA dropped, obviously not true. Yeah. 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 And it was just super interesting. I mean, I get it. I wouldn't share a source either. I completely understand that.
Informing witnesses to not talk about anything or confirm anything.
Yeah. 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 But so to be fair,
that's just my thought.
To be fair, what is interesting is in sales, because I've been in sales for like, I don't know, 15 years or longer than that, because I was just sales. But it's easier for people to come up with a story than it is for them to say, sorry, can't talk to you. So I put a lot of worth in that, in the possibility of false information coming forward, because that's a way that they can make a situation not feel awkward while still not giving up the information. You know what I mean? It tends to happen a lot, all the time.
So another question. Are there any towers that are in Moscow that cover Pullman?
I mean, we can look.
Yep.
Nope.
Okay, so
there is not.
So that would make it impossible for him to be in Pullman and ping off a Moscow tower.
Correct.
Okay. Well, there's the answer.
Yes.
What about that water tower one? That one didn't?
No.
Okay, it just covered the highway once you cross the state line. That is literally it.
Yep, correct. It does not.
Yeah, Michael, because Brendan's 29. Yeah. I would wink, but I can't really wink. I don't know why my eyes don't really work separately like that. It's really weird.
Yeah. I'm 29. I've only had 4 or 5 29th birthdays.
Somebody asked how old we were in a comment, and he just commented, I'm 29.
This tower is good, and I really wish that they would have had the receivers, the cell tower antennas, angled towards Moscow. I don't get why they didn't. Oh, wait, this is 3,441 feet above sea level. So we're probably looking at, oh, yeah. So this is 3441, 3026, 3223.
So what does that mean?
3367. There could be some blockage
because there's
in
hills?
the landscape. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That could be why. All of this is pretty high.
Drunk Turkey has a question about cell towers. Here. So when the PCA states that he was connected to a Moscow tower, but not in Moscow with that tower info, he was somewhere else, but not far.
So this is the only tower that could support that, is this one right here.
The one to the south, right?
Yes.
That big one.
Look at this coverage. This is when people are thinking of cell towers, this is the type of tower they're thinking of. When you hear experts say, hey, cell towers can go 40 miles, this is the type of tower they're talking about. Look at this range.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
Because no other tower in this area does that.
No.
Not a single one does that, but this one.
Yeah, and the range is only south. I mean, look at all these towers it covers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's not including the closed network towers too, which is a whole array of other ones,
Oh, you're not sharing the tab, Brendan.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Super lame. I'm super lame.
Okay, there you go.
So here is the tower that I was talking about. This is...
Gosh, you're killing me.
It's okay. It's okay. It happens quite a bit. It's not a Thought Riot show if it doesn't happen once, okay?
Right.
So this is the tower I was talking about, though. I'll start up close. So we have Moscow here, right? And this is the southern tower that, if I'm remembering correct, I think it's a T-Mobile tower. I think T-Mobile owns this tower, but that doesn't change anything because towers share services with all of the cell phone providers.
So all put their what do you call them? The little things?
Yeah, just the white receivers, the antennas, essentially, is the nice, the right way to put it. But look at this coverage. So this is AT&T's coverage. That's huge, you guys. Massive. So he could be, this is the tower they're talking about.
But
if
he
he's
wouldn't
not,
be in Pullman, though. He
No.
would not be in Pullman.
No, he would not be in Pullman. That's correct. That is correct. If we check this one, that one's only down south.
Whoa.
That one doesn't cover Pullman.
That's also another crazy one, though.
Yeah.
Is that the Paradise Ridge one? It is.
Yeah. So let's see here. Yeah. Come on. Work with me here. Stops right at state lines, essentially. So I guess if you're at the school, right? Look.
What kind of coverage is that, though?
Yeah, that's the one we were just looking at. It's literally right on the edge, right on the line right there. So is it possible? Yes. Theoretically, it's possible. But what's interesting is, like, I don't see the prosecution coming back and talking about any of the cell coverage because of what we were showing earlier with the declassified document of CAST and what CAST talks about. So even in a perfect situation, CAST's suggestion is that you do not rely on that in court. You don't rely on this data. Now we're looking at a situation, and again, my go-to comparison is YNW Melly. So the YNW Melly case, he was under no less than 10 towers. It was so efficient and so precise that with triangulation, they literally saw him walking around the car, you know? Then you come here, and none of these towers are great towers. Like, none of them. There's only a couple that have, you know, more than 10 square miles of coverage. And it's a one-off situation. And you're lucky if you're ever under 2. You're doing phenomenal if you're under 3 anywhere in this area. You're just not going to get a reliable triangulation coverage theory on where you could be. Even the geolocation services in this area, because the landscape is so crazy, that it would be a hard sell.
Yeah, and it's interesting because 1122 King Road seems to be on the edge, like of either just being out of coverage or being on the edge of that coverage, which makes it less reliable.
It does. It does, because of what we talked about here. Yeah. Because the further away you get from a tower, the bigger the spread of error is. So if your phone takes 3 to 6 milliseconds to get to your phone for an RTT time, a round trip time, with the data going to your phone and back to your phone, that's roughly
back to the tower.
Or back to the tower. Yep. I'm sorry. Back to the tower. That is a 50% spread of error, meaning, like, if you are 900 feet away from the tower, then the gap of error means that it could show anywhere from 900 feet to essentially 1800, but more than likely it would be right in the range of, what is that, 1350 to 1800. So you could be anywhere from 900 to 1800 roughly when you're checking one tower. Now, every tower you get added on to that, because you're connected to all towers at all times. You're just not prioritizing all towers. You're prioritizing one with a data connection. But each tower you add on to that, it grows shorter or smaller and smaller and smaller until there's enough information for them to be like, okay, bam, we got you. You walked, like YNW Melly's case, you walked around the car at this time, in this way, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So here. That's interesting. It appears he was possibly in the area following the murders as well on the 14th. At 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. and BK's trip to Clarkson were all on the 13th. The 14th was Monday, and we know he wasn't at school. Now we know he wasn't home either.
Yeah. One way that they could use this is if they pulled a whole bunch of data. Like if I'm taking the prosecution's point here, what I would do is pull all the cell records for the last month, and I would track it on a chart. So every Monday we see between this time to this time, he goes from tower 1 to tower 2. You don't need the exact location data in that. You just need to know that he's moving essentially. So every Monday he's doing this, right? Every Tuesday he's doing this. Every Wednesday he's doing this, and it goes from tower 1 to tower 2 to tower 3. It doesn't matter where he's going and what he's doing. Then we have the crime. Then after the crime, we see that for whatever reason, he's no longer connecting from this tower to this tower to this tower in this way, in the same way that he did before the crime, just showing some sort of a semblance of history timeline where his behavioral pattern is with the cell phone data connections, and if it changed at all, and that's one way you could use it without getting detailed information. But like what we had been talking about on the premiere tonight is the GPS data. If he has any of his location services turned on, they could get it from that.
Yep. Gina said, did you see the failure in communication in the backwards clock video from August 23rd?
I don't think I did. And
is that
from you?
Yeah, is that from you, Gina?
So one thing I meant to tell you about your box, Gina, is even though that says that you're connected to 11 towers, what that box does is it's not connecting to 11 towers straight up in the sky. What it's doing,
satellites
or satellites. Yeah. Thank you. It's not connecting to 11 satellites straight up in the sky. It's shooting your data to essentially a land satellite, a land connection, and then that connection is throwing it up into the sky, and you're bouncing that signal off of 11 satellites, which makes it a more reliable connection, because if one of them's weaker or doesn't have a good connection, it'll sub through another satellite, and it just gives you a more reliable connection. Yeah, it's interesting stuff.
Amanda said, we're all in the middle of nowhere and everywhere simultaneously.
Yeah. Let me tell you how rare this is. I've only seen a layout this unreliable like maybe 3 times, you guys, ever in my entire career there. Maybe 3 times. This is such an unreliable map.
It could be indicative, Ian, of him having suspicious behavior if he didn't connect to anything after the crime. But like we were talking about earlier, good night, Ann.
Good night, Ann.
Yep, stay safe out there. It's a dangerous world. So it could be, but like we were talking about, it was also Thanksgiving. His dad was coming, and then it was Christmas, and he was leaving. Yeah. So it makes me wonder if there would be, not as much reason for him to travel across state lines at that time to go to Moscow. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like there's more variables we'd have to account for there to make sure that is suspicious. Yeah. Because there is a possibility that would be very indicative, of stalking behavior. Yeah, it would give insight or something. I agree. Or if it's stalking behavior, stalking is directed at a single source. So you would assume that if you're seeing the idea is that he goes out at night when he can't sleep, or maybe he does it just to think or whatever, and goes and drives around. All right. But if we can prove a pattern
then it's not just driving aimlessly.
Mm,
You know what I mean? If it's
yeah.
the same towers in the same way, even though you don't have the exact location, then it's not aimless driving.
It's intentional.
It could be.
It could be, yeah.
It could be.
I mean, unless you take the same route to just like go drive and think, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have an email. I'll post it in the chat, Drunk
Yeah.
Turkey.
Yep. Yeah,
J Ray.
Gina, the all cell phone companies have those boxes.
Yeah, we had one at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had a few of them actually.
Yep.
But what was J
I
Ray
would
saying?
sell those boxes because inside of offices there are a lot of different materials that interfere with it. Like there's a lot of cables running, and one of the worst things for cell phone connection is copper. Copper blocks everything, and there's a ton of copper wires and lining and data and electricity cables and everything else, and it's usually with tin ceilings and outlines for drop ceilings and everything else that it interferes with cell phone connection inside of offices. So a lot of offices use those boxes in every corner, floor, things like that. And, you know, I made commission off selling those things and getting them set up.
J Ray, you know what, too? I think there's a possibility that he wasn't required to be in class for every undergraduate class session he was assisting for. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's totally possible. Ian would know more. Oh, here's Ian replying. In my experience, that varies based on the professor. Some require TA attendance, others don't care. Sounds like that even with
it's just
students,
vague.
Yeah. Some professors when I was in college didn't care if I showed up. Others were like, if you are not here, like if you miss like 2 days of class, you're in big trouble.
Yep.
That's it.
Done for.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
And then others could care less as long as you're turning in your work and you're communicating.
Yeah. It's about the learning. But yeah, I think I covered everything that I could cover today. Did we have any other topics? Any other questions?
Yeah. Anything else going on?
Wait. Because of what one podcast?
Why do we think otherwise? Because that one podcast? So that video you're talking about, Gina, was from you? I'll have to go watch it. I don't think I have seen it.
From the MPD site? And that box is from that site?
No, she said her cell phone carrier gave it to her.
Okay.
For the class where I was the lecturer, I didn't require attendance, but I did assign extra credit for attending lecture on 3 randomly selected days.
Okay. Yeah. I think there's just so much. Everything is so vague.
Right, CH. Some TAs are basically just teach the class. I've seen that too. How many new members? Like
a lot.
A lot of new members tonight.
I'll have to post multiple member pictures.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Thank yous.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
That was incredible and awesome. And we're almost at 3,400 subs. And let's see here. So members. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 30. Wow, you guys. 30 new members tonight.
I think it might be more than that.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it is because I think you stopped at Cynthia, but Cynthia's, I think, renewed And then it says 0 days beneath that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Go. Yeah. Where's
So-
Cynthia? Go down. You got to start at the. So where's Cynthia?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Sergeant
4,
Friday got
5,
gifted a
6,
membership
7,
too.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You messed it up.
I did.
Okay, Cynthia was right there.
Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Vanera.
15,
Vanera got a subscription.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54.
And you gotta
Oh my
take,
gosh.
You got to take 2 off that because one was Cynthia, one was Amanda.
Okay, so 52 new members, you guys. That is absolutely incredible. And I just appreciate all of you. And Michael is a superstar and a superhero, and that is incredible.
Yeah.
And for those audio listeners, if you guys want to join in the fun and the membership, we are at patreon.com/ThoughtRiotPodcast or youtube.com/at ThoughtRiotPodcast, and we will post those now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. We have a premiere. We had a premiere right before the live, Gina. It's not a fake live. It's just a premiere. And then as soon as it's over, which it's just premiering a new video. And then right after we hop on the live and talk about the video.
Yeah. So here's how it works, you guys,
Woo!
if you're curious. The green background, the grass background is pre-recorded. This background is live.
Whoa, why is it playing all these now? Zena, did you just now become a member? Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Welcome to the club. I
Amanda
highlighted
did
it already.
too. Yes.
She did earlier. I don't know why it replayed again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But welcome, you guys. That is incredible. I think we have a lot of new members, you guys, and we are super stoked to have all of you here. One thing that we're trying really hard to do is build a community where everyone feels comfortable being in here, no matter what their opinion is, no matter what their theory is. We just want to be here to critically think. The goal is to bring up questions, bring up comments and concerns that deserve thought put into them, right? And I think I said this in the beginning of the True Crime Talk Show tonight, but I have learned so much in the last 2 and 3 months from you guys, the viewer, than I probably have in the last 3 or 4 years or more. So I appreciate all of you, and I think we are building something incredible here. And Matt, thank you for the super sticker. That is awesome.
Appreciate you.
Much appreciated.
And loved your input tonight. And
Yes.
It was Caroline, Ian, and Michael who gifted tonight.
Yes.
So thank you to all 3 of you.
Absolutely.
And super thanks to you, Michael.
Yes.
The gifting party was really fun. Thank you guys for being a part of that. We'll have to give out more random memberships during the live stream.
We
too.
will. Yeah, we will start doing that. I'm a little slow learning, you guys, with stuff like that. So I'll pick it up eventually. Once I get it down, we're down.
Yes, thank you, Michael. You're awesome.
Yes, you
he
are.
Was determined.
The commitment.
He
I
was
know.
So determined. And then somebody reminded him later on that he didn't get it to Amanda. He was like, "Well, thanks for reminding me about failure."
Dude, Michael was literally about. I could tell when you were asking that question, you were about to buy 50 subs. I was like,
to make
dude,
everyone watching.
I know.
Everyone watching a member.
I know it.
Just to get Amanda the membership.
I was like, nah, it's okay. You know what's funny, Michael, is I'm the same way. I am exactly the same way.
He is.
It's the ADHD in me. When I get an obsessive thought, I can't do anything. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't do anything until I figure that out. And that's how I get with true crime cases, that I can't control the obsession, but I can control what the obsession is
IG.
on, right? So I try and put my obsession into positive things like crime, you guys, or cell phone signal, or more recently, the DNA evidence and things like that. So yeah.
And yeah, Regina, I remember you joining last night. Welcome again.
Yes, welcome again. Absolutely. Didn't we give you a shout out last night?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
I thought I remembered.
I just want to make sure. I thought so too, but I don't want to leave someone out, man. That's super sucky. That would be awful of us.
I don't think you're reading Michael for the true psychopath that he is. We love Michael.
I see.
Even if he is psychopath, because he is too. Brendan is too.
Yeah, yeah, I am. ZJ, I hated my ADHD for a long time. It caused me to do things that I felt like were outside of my control, but I've learned to harness that, and I think that it benefits me now, especially in sales, especially in investigating, and especially in like learning and directing that obsession. But I had to learn one major thing. And for a long time, I tried to control my obsessive nature. And I finally realized I can't control that obsession. I can't stop it. I am going to obsess over things, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. But the one thing I can do is direct it into something positive instead of something negative. See, before, with dirt biking and hanging out with troublemakers, getting in trouble, I was and still am obsessed with adrenaline. Like, I have an obsession for doing new things, crazy things, but I was directing all of that into crime and really bad situations and people, and like very detailed obsession heist where I haven't talked about this before with you guys.
It's a members video.
It's going to be a members video, but I ran with a group of people that did movie style, large gain heist type situations, without going into too much detail. And that caused me to hang out with really unsavory characters. It's not really like movie style. I totally over exaggerating.
Okay.
But like, if I'm a viewer and I'm watching someone say that, I'd be like, dude, you're full of it. No way, get out of here. And I am full of it semi. It's not like that. But I just meant the planning aspects of it by knowing someone who's on the inside, things like that.
Yeah, I think I get a lot of that negative ideation, obsessiveness too. I think I honestly have a form of ADD. I think it's just different than his. I think it's actually a lot more common and maybe even like normal.
Yeah.
Normal-ish. Like, there's just people who have different ways of learning, different ways of being. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, my ADHD, I never experienced anxiety, but what bothers me is awkward situations. And they start to give me anxiety, but I will get out of there no matter what. Like, if I'm in a situation and it's super awkward because of whatever reason, someone tries talking about something that's super awkward and shouldn't be talked about in a group setting or something like that, I will just walk away. I will get out of there. I'll do whatever I need to do to get out of there. But other than that, I don't really get a lot of anxiety from mine anymore. And I don't use medication for mine. I chose to figure it out, and it was a hard couple decades to figure it out, but I feel like we're good. I'm good where I'm at with it now, Yeah, that sucks. Social anxiety is no joke.
I know.
I think any anxiety is no joke. It is so hard to deal with. And people
I
who
used
don't
to have it bad.
yeah, and people who don't have it don't understand how debilitating it can be. And that's one of the reasons why I spoke on the topic I spoke on yesterday around the read technique in interrogation, because a lot of people deal with anxiety, and you put somebody who's anxiety ridden in front of an investigator who is trained coming at you from a power position, in the form of a subconscious power position, like the stuck chair, corner, blocking the door, higher than you, making you feel lesser than, and they already have anxiety, dude. Totally unfair, and totally part of the reason why we have 25% plus of false admissions to crime.
Yeah, it does turn into depression.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Say my name.
Hey, what is the drug they're testing now on PTSD and stuff for people in the military?
Mushrooms?
Yeah, mushrooms creates new connections in your brain.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered anything like that, Michael? Because I've seen
Yes.
I've seen research that is super promising.
The mushroom research is incredible. And the thing is too, you guys, is it's not even like you're getting loaded on it. They're talking about a micro dosing pattern that you take daily. Fun fact around mushrooms. Mushrooms is the only thing, you guys, literally the only thing in the entire world. There is not a single other one out there that grows brain connections back. When you damage your brain, there's nothing that will make it come back. Mushrooms do it, just in a different way than what you're thinking. It's not, if you get a hole in your brain from a head injury, from dope, whatever could cause it. You guys get what I'm saying. But that's not going to grow back on its own. It's not going to repair it. It's not going to fix itself on its own. It's going to create new connections and reroute those connections so that it functions the same, just in a different way. It just takes a different path. But when you take mushrooms, those cells will grow back, and the ones that are already there supersize. So just imagine a cell in your brain like this big. And after you start doing microdosing and mushrooms, it becomes this big. So then the distance between the cells communicating has decreased, because they've gone from this size, which this distance between them is bigger than this size, and half the distance between them. Yeah, neuroplasticity. Yes.
There you go. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, Riddler. And yes, prayers to the Middle East, everybody. Straight up horror is going on over there.
So look into microdosing, Michael, where you won't even feel it. If you do, it's barely anything.
Yeah, he's saying the TBI damages too much. I didn't realize that could be an issue with trying it.
Well, I think because he said it inhibits the mushroom effect. I thought you meant like the psycho whatever effects.
Yeah. The psychoactive effects.
Yeah, the psychoactive effects. But
you don't really want the psychoactive effects.
No.
Microdosing, you won't get those.
Right.
But
right.
I'm curious, Michael, if that is the rebuilding effects.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
Yeah.
No, it inhibits the rebuilding effects.
Oh, got it. Okay.
That's what I thought you meant.
Got it.
That's
awful, dude. That's awful. That's
I'm so
horrible.
sorry, but I have heard I've heard miracle stories with it, but now I'm gonna have to go look that up.
Yeah. Because
I didn't realize there could
studies.
be too much, but I can actually now see that could be a possibility.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
I never thought about it. You took a heck of an IED strike. Thing.
That's unfortunate, man. But I am super glad you're here still, looking at the positive.
Yes.
I can't help but look at the positive of even bad situations, and at least you're here talking with us. There's situations that could always be worse, obviously.
Gina, that's actually a super good point. The Neuralink, the only chance I have before dementia. The Neuralink could be super promising for these situations. for Michael, for
Exactly.
anybody with traumatic brain injury or, you know, degenerative conditions. Like, what is the one where it helped that guy learn to walk again? That was that guy's name. It could be really helpful for that because it physically is creating new connections.
Yes. And that's exactly it, Amanda. Yeah, definitely a hero. That and you're the person that I'm talking about when I talk about how important it is for us to side with law enforcement and side with military, because I think that there's this really big disconnect in society where until you're in a situation, a life-threatening situation, or you're the person in front of a tank having to swipe for IEDs or whatever the mines are, the landmines are, like, or any situation like that where your life is on the line. I just don't think that people understand how serious it is and what people are giving up and what people are putting on the line to protect the rest of the people. You know what I mean? It's easy to not realize.
That's why. So I feel like that's why it's important. Like, cause I think somebody for their service once and they were like, well, I chose it. You don't have to thank me. I chose it. And I'm like, but that's why none of us have to worry about that. None of us even have to think about that, is because there's people out there doing it. And we all get to have this cushy, safe life where we don't have to think about any of it. Like, look at the horrors in the Middle East. Our country isn't like that because we have our military, because of all of these wonderful amenities and people who are willing to put their life on the line. That's all thanks to them. That we get to feel safe in our homes every night.
Agreed.
So yeah, it should never be downplayed.
Yeah. And we're just watching this TikTok earlier.
It's a sacrifice.
I can't show it on here. It is a sacrifice. I can't show it on here, but in Illinois, there was a police shooting just recently where it is so crazy, dude, where the cops knew this guy had a gun and it was under his butt and he had his hands up like this. And the cops that kept saying, like, touch the roof, put your hands on the roof. What are you doing, dude? I'm going to shoot you, you know? And it looks like they're going to take control of him. And right away, this guy's so quick, wham, and starts firing on him, dude. It just blows your mind how quick something can happen like that for somebody in the military or a police officer or a government agent or anything like that. And until you're in a situation like that, I think a lot of that gets looked over easily, you know?
Yeah, and we do all have our different experiences with the government.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
sure.
bad parts of it. I'm not going to ignore that. Like, there are definitely bad parts of it, but there's pros and cons to anything in life. So I just can't condemn the whole system, because a lot of parts of it work well, and then some parts of it, obviously, we have major problems with. And I'm so sorry, Michael. I'm so sorry. That's terrible.
That's rough stuff.
But you know, there's always somebody else.
Yep.
There always will be.
And even if there's not a positive right now, there will be.
There will be.
There will be. And my personal thought in life is, like, you don't learn and grow from when things are going easy, you know? Once you're on the other side, then you're like, gosh, dude, that really sucked, but I'm glad I got through it and made it out of there, you know, because I've learned this or that or the other, or, you know what I mean? Yeah.
He tried to correct your name. It's still wrong. And that's true. I've seen things I can't unsee. And I understand there are many horrors within many governments nationwide, including ours. There are horrors. But
the one thing is that I feel like it's important for us to consider is, like, we look at the government and don't like when they look at groups of people, minorities or lower income people, and they put all those people in a box, right? And make decisions because they are so disconnected from those other demographics. Well, it's important for us as people not to do the same and look at the government and put them all in a box and be like, hey, because 10% of the people that are involved in our government, our federal agencies, our policing are bad people, that makes everyone bad. Then it's not fair doing it in the reverse. You know what I mean? Where the bad people doesn't make it a bad system. It just means we have work to do on that system.
Yeah, there's good and bad people within the government for sure.
Yeah.
There are people in there that are trying to do good. There are.
Agreed. I think so. But this was a good ender, a good heart to heart. I appreciate all of you and appreciate all the new members. And Michael, thank you for your service. Thank you for giving the members an opportunity to come hang out and get the benefits of the membership while they can. We will absolutely be putting out a membership video on some of those stories, and we'll get it out before any of those memberships lapse, so people get a chance to experience it.
Right, Ian. Right. I want to do that too. I just can't. When I'm being reasonable, I can't.
I know it.
And happy Friday the 13th. Lock your doors, lock your windows, turn on those security cameras.
Yes. Yes.
That's just me being paranoid, but
all right, guys. This is the True Crime Talk Show, where we talk about true crime and criminal culture.
Good night, Michael, star of the chat. You have been dubbed star of the chat for the night.
You are star of the chat, I think, all week, man.
Yep, it's Friday the 13th.
All right, guys. We appreciate you. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Aaliyah. Have a wonderful night. Appreciate you, and see you Sunday.
Yes, and this is Thought Riot Podcast, and we are out.
Bye.
Bye.